Welcome to the Wileyverse. Welcome back. Joining us for another session of Savage Riffs here at the Wileyverse. With me, as always, on Tuesdays is Mitch, the Glitter Boy Evacuator, James Plato, and the goodest of boys, Dayton.
With a good old...
We have a special guest star.
There she is.
She's looking up.
Their ears.
Bandolier is our special guest tonight. She's playing an old partner of Beethoven's.
She's the memory of Toto.
So tonight is hopefully the exciting conclusion of your Splugorth foray.
Hopefully for you or for us.
For everyone involved, I think. It would be nice to...
Also, I stole, just as an aside, I stole this surname from a friend of mine from England, McKellar.
Ah.
I named him James, just because I figured those things. Turns out it's his grandfather's name, who his middle name is named after. So my friend's name is Ian James McKellar. James McKellar is Jim McKellar.
And this is the Brit?
Yeah, the British guy.
Did his grandfather fight in the war?
No, but he works in engineering for the RAF, but they're cannoneers and artillerymen, most of them.
Nice.
So I was like, this is my armor is mobile artillery. I sent him a little picture and stuff, and he's like, that's cool. And he named some RPGs that he knew that turned out not being, the same. That came out before Rifts. It was Sword and Steel or something like that. Or I'll show you later.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. Like it turned out that I accidentally stole this name completely, not just partially.
And I gave a cursory glance through my books, and I'm sad to say that I think I might have sold my Mecton books. So
Sorry,
GT, I'll have to tell him when he gets here. They might still be up here somewhere, but I couldn't find them on the first pass through. But I had Mecton First Edition, which is a anime mech fighting game, RPG.
Yeah.
All right, so you are facing one of the most iconic foes in Rift's history, the Splugorth Slaver. You have battled it in a canyon with its slave legion. Oh, and I was like one page away. I'm like, I knew I had a Metzla that had a cannon on its back, but I showed you the other Metzla, and I'm like, imagine this with a cannon on its back.
Also, real quick, just because.
Right, it is super warm. I'm like, imagine this with a cannon on its back. When I first had you face that, if I would have just flipped one more page, you would have actually seen.
Oh, there it is with a cannon on its back.
So,
just give it to us.
Yeah. I need to turn this down, I think. That is what the first Metzla out the door was.
I would take my actual shirt off, but that's against Twitch
policy. Yes. So.
I was like, we can't have a shirtless episode.
Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the new rocket. Yep.
It's not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Guardians of the Guacamole. But if the new artist for Rocket Raccoon makes it look much more like that.
Dang, I've already got it.
Oh, yeah. Vandy will get all over you.
My cats are not going to like me when I get home.
Yep. So.
Alright, so we are...
Right now. It's raining.
I have exited my armor. It has blown itself off the cliff.
I
wasted a turn to take a breath. We have called Jimbo and the Evan route, but I don't remember exactly what it is that you're doing.
Our bennies are where they're at. We don't.
If you are below your maximum, you're going to fill to your maximum.
Okay. That's why I want to make sure, because we're probably going to need these.
So the...
I went through 5 bennies last round.
That's like I get 4.
The Glitter Boy has launched itself off into the canyon. You're up top on the canyon wall, taking a breather, and there's dead, splattered Metzla all over you.
Also, I'm probably going to have some nightmares.
Yeah. Some tentacle nightmares.
It was in my brain.
Shawnee is in the canyon running from the barge, which is still invisible, but it's raining, so it's...
And you have an arm full of warrior women.
He's got a bandolier. Hi, Bandy. A bandolier full of Altera blind warrior women with one that's conscious.
But she's helping, right?
She's not hindering.
She's happy to flee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of. Okay. All right.
It was like one of the last things I encountered that, like, she was awake and everything, but she's like, I'm cool with getting out of here. So
Yeah. She grabbed her shaken friend. The last one. He got 4. There was one shaken, one up. The one that was up, grabbed the shaken one, grabbed your arm, and said, get us out of here. Type thing. So. Come on, AC.
It's working. For those of you at home who can't feel what's happening in here, the air conditioner's been out for a couple of days.
This game is sponsored by. So this game is not sponsored by knowing a friend who works on ACs.
Yeah.
that is a lifesaver. Hey.
Well, they let us.
Thanks, Jill.
They let us tie our shirts.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I mean, not for anything policy-wise. I don't want to look at that.
It's like the same color as my character sheet.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No.
I like our backdrop of little tinkling tags walking through in and out of the room. All right, so I'm okay without passing out cards right at the beginning. You're kind of like in a lull of the battle. The only person that's in immediate danger is Shawnee. The Evinrude, as last directed, is going towards the emergency beacon in the Glitter Boy, which is now down in the canyon.
Remind me real quick. I don't know where. I know we've met a lot of people along the way and stuff. Who is Shawnee?
Shawnee person.
That's a dick. All right.
She has a bow.
What?
I forgot about that. When did she get a bow? I'm like, he mentioned it like in the first 30 seconds of her character creation. Introduction, excuse me.
All right.
Obviously, as I get up, I would like to scramble to my armor, but it's down the cliff.
Yes, it is. Now, the place where the first cave-in happened is got a little bit more of a slope to it in the crevices. You could probably slide down that without breaking everything, but you still might break something.
Where else is the nearest place to climb down with lack of breaking something? Is it miles away?
You think, and like again, you're just surveying what's around you. You think there might be some place about like 20 yards ahead of you that might be a way down, but you're not sure.
Let's go back to the. I'm going to head back to the slide in to make my way down.
Okay. What are you doing with your bandolier of women?
I'm up out of the canyon.
You are out of the canyon at this point.
I'm home free, more or less.
Yes, if you just ran, you're home free.
Has anyone skinnied to me that they need assistance or anything?
Well, you knew that you left Shawnee behind.
Yeah, but
You heard the boom gun go off.
You saw my armor fall down, didn't he? See? No, he
did not see that. He was tying women up and jumping out of the canyon.
Have I spoke at all to the Evinrude and Jimbo?
You know that Jimbo is inbound because the turn before he called the evac and he evacuated his glitter boy.
That's code for poop.
Evacuated the glitter boy. So you know that Jimbo's coming in, but as far as you know, Jimbo is picking up the glitter boy first, and you heard the boom, but you don't know the state of the glitter boy or James. You don't know what happened to Shawnee. She was still in hand-to-hand combat with the slaver on the barge.
Can I see anything?
If you want to turn around and assess the situation, you quickly see the horror of what is unfolding. The glitter boy is now down in the canyon. He's scrambling to what seems like he's going to try to climb down into the canyon. Shawnee is running towards the glitter boy because that's the last thing she saw happen, and the barge is chasing her.
Alright, so give me a perspective on... So I'm up on the canyon here.
So
what's the first thing that I see? Is it the glitter boy? Is it Shawnee?
The canyon, you're like, you're up on this side of the canyon. Mm-hmm. So the slaver's over here, Shawnee's here, glitter boy's here, James is here.
Are you doing an overhead?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay, I was like, canyon, you're like,
no.
like, what?
If you're like, again, like, it wouldn't help to go this way because I just be pointing like this. But yeah. So if you're on the canyon wall here and looking down, the furthest away in the canyon is the slaver itself, the barge. Okay. Then Shawnee is running. Then the glitter boy is on the kind of edge of the canyon up here. But then on top of the canyon is James. So it's almost like a line.
Do I see James like on the other side of the?
Like you're looking straight down at James because he's up on top of the canyon with you.
But he's on the other side.
But he's on the other side of that rift. Yeah. Not real rift.
Yeah.
Dirt rift.
I was like, you can't say rift. Can't say rift and rifts because rifts are things.
Dirt rift.
So I can see
the
Shawnee.
Dirt rift. Did you mean canyon?
No. I mean the collapse in the canyon wall.
Well, I guess at this point, assessing the situation like that.
You have our mission parameter in your arms. You should not come back for any of this.
I'm not saying I'm going to come back.
I'm not saying I'm coming back.
But you'd given me the option earlier in this whole scene to have smoke. Yes. And I could manually load a smoke grenade.
You do. You have all three types of smoke.
Can I shoot a smoke grenade on top of the glitter boy?
You can. What kind?
Question is dark or IR?
There hasn't been too much technology floating around these things. Most of their shit is magical or biowizardry.
Dark is the way to go. That's what I used earlier. But that way, if Shawnee can get to it, she'll have cover. It'll have cover.
Shawnee definitely seems like she doesn't know that you're out of it. She did not hear that because she was fighting it.
Also, I don't have communication.
You do.
I do. Okay, so
you do have a personal radio on you. Your communication headset is something you put on yourself.
That's what I thought.
And it ties into the armor. So the armor has its own, but you have your own as well.
Plus, I'm wearing the Huntsman lightweight, but I think I also have the Glitter Boy pods have a small helmet too, right? Yeah, so I'm slightly enclosed.
I'm not sure if you wear the Huntsman inside the armor or not. I don't know. I mean, I'll call it yes for now, and we'll look it up later on because you being out all squishy. As far as I also understand, Huntsman.
Oh no, you're right. No. I'm wearing a pilot jumpsuit.
Yep.
Yes,
with
a pilot jumpsuit with a small helmet, but the helmet is because it's got the communication suite in it. That's right.
So
well, I am not armored even a little bit.
Anything hits you, you are dead.
Super soft right now. I'm super soft. Literally super soft.
Super soft glitter boy.
Well, sorry.
Good.
I was just saying, if I'm going to shoot that dark smoke at.
Yeah, no worries on this. Like, that's an easy shot for you, even covered in women. Boom! And you
look at me.
You launch your grenade out.
Saying I shoot easy when I'm covered in women.
I got these bitches all over.
For the audience at home that may not have been following along with this game,
they don't like being called bitches.
They're unconscious slave warrior women that he is rescuing. He has got them strapped together, and he is in a big power armor, so he's carrying them all, except for one or two, which are one's carrying the other. So yeah, you launch the smoke. Bloom. Anything else you want to do? Say. Again, you know that Jimbo's coming in.
Yeah, and does Shawnee still have her strength up?
Yes.
Because I heard that he ejected from the suit. Shawnee did not.
She doesn't seem to know what happened in that situation because she was jumping onto a barge and fighting a slaver.
So I would like to relay to Shawnee, hey, if you can get to that Glitter Boy's armor, you can grab it and keep moving because James is not in there.
What? It's empty? Can Sugar move it?
Meanwhile, you hear a soft scream. I was like fall on my knees and lament as I see the explosion of my Glitter Boy.
smoke comes out.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm sure I heard all of that.
Yeah,
So.
and you know what a smoke grenade looks like.
Yeah.
Um,
you also know what smoke is.
Shawnee calls out, like, can Sugar move the glitter boy?
I mean, she can, but I don't know. She can't walk it around or anything like that.
So one of the only things that works.
Excuse me.
So the glitter boy, it's a power armor. So it is assisted. It's moved by physical movement. That's what tells the actuators to do things.
Oh, so she can only do things that move automatically, like
right.
turn gimbals, gun back,
the gun
forward,
back, gun forward.
Yeah,
Now
stuff on and off.
it does have a walk, like for maintenance purposes, to get it around the yard with no one in it. It has a little like shuffle.
Well, it's better if it
but
lays.
it's on the ground.
Yeah, it's
right.
better if it
It's on the
lays
ground, so it
spot.
can't do that.
So no,
she cannot. She cannot. Like, she can try to move the actuators as much as they can, and like twitch it and move the arms, but she cannot walk that thing. She cannot turn it over. She cannot stand it up.
It's funny because she probably could have smoke grenaded on her own.
Yep. She has all of them still loaded.
There's 4 left, so the low ammo counter is like off the chart. Just kidding. That's only for the boob.
So she says she's running towards it. There's a slave barge behind her. She finds out you're not in it. She's asking where you are now.
I'm skinny on top of the canyon, obviously. Wave.
Do you like tell her that you're coming down here?
I'm gonna try, yeah.
Do not do that.
What?
There is a smuggler slaver barge behind me.
Boo. I can't leave Archimedes down there.
Can I get in it?
I mean, kinda.
Like, I'm not trying to. Like, she's not a power armor jock, so she's gonna have all the penalties and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
and she's like, but I can try to get it out.
Sugar will be able to tell her how to suit it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly easy to get in the thing, and with Sugar assisting, she'll at least be able to move it out. Especially if she can tow line, like
I don't
get that
like
tow
it.
line.
I don't like it, but yes. Yeah.
Hearing all this chatter and now coming through the radio, Jimbo's like, "Hey, I'm coming in 5x5. What's your status? Where am I going?"
Stardate 436-2.0. Fuck, don't pick me up first. Grab. So you're on the other side of the cabin?
No, he's on the same side as you.
He's on the same side.
Yeah, but further down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
See, I thought it was on this side too, but
what do you
You
want?
thought you were where?
Do you want
I
him
thought
to-
it was across the canyon.
Do you want him to snag you because you have the women first, or do you want him to get the? I want him to get the glitter boy first.
Is that where you jumped up? Like, I don't actually remember.
I
I
feel
don't
like he's on
remember-
the opposite end. Like
Opposite-
if we're looking at the canyon
Canyon like
again,
this?
like
Because
I'm
initially
on this
I was
side,
on the opposite
he's
end.
on this side.
Because you were all running up here. Then you jumped down and jumped over to save Shawnee.
And then
he was over there.
So he jumped across the canyon and then went down it and then jumped back up.
So you want to jump back up to where you were before?
I think
Okay.
that's
So let's do
where
that.
we had decided that's where I retreated to, just because
So we're kind
I
of
was just there,
just there.
so
Yeah,
I
if we're looking
know
at
that
it from
it's
above,
safe.
it's
Yeah.
like I'm up here, he's down here, with the
And you're
canyon in the
across.
middle. Yeah.
So now it's a little bit different because James is over here, and now you're down here,
It's
and there's
literally
literally a line.
like if
There's
you
Splugor Slaver Barge, Shawnee, Glitter Boy, James on the other side of the canyon.
Yes.
So you're looking across the canyon at a cross.
yes, like if we
Yeah.
looked at the canyon
Yep.
straight up and down like this is me, this is him, and then my head is like where the glitter boy is with
Yep.
the Splugor barge, like here, right about here.
No, over by him. It's
Yeah,
over by
so
him.
that's what I'm saying. This is him. I did it backwards.
You did it backwards.
I did it backwards.
So-
Yeah.
Yep. So Shawnee's like, "Hey, there's smoke there. If I can get away from the Splugor, get in the armor and get the armor out of there, then
Does the armor have any of my climbing?
she has climbing."
Oh, she has climbing. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Then, yeah, grab it, climb out. So I want. Then Jimbo's got it. Since now we've got a way to get the armor out of the canyon. I want Jimbo to get you first because you've got the women. Second, it's got to get the glitter boy armor, and third, pick me up if it can.
And and Shawnee calls, "Sugar Sisters, fire for effect on the barge.
There
It's
we go.
invisible, but you'll see it by the rain."
Forgot about the Sugar Sisters.
Yeah.
I just
They're
imagine
always
Jimbo
there.
like like in Evan Root.
I'm gonna pull 3 cards for your side and 2 cards for theirs, because that's the group. We're going to see who goes first to see what happens next. And this is just a side-by-side, because we're kind of out of... Unless you guys want to do combat turn by combat turn. Right now, you guys have a plan, a general plan.
I'm down to play the plan. Let's play the plan. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you want to do combat turn by turn?
Does that mean what he's doing right now?
He's doing plan by plan. Which part of the plan goes first? Does the barge advance, or
There's like a fruit fly getting in there. Sorry.
does the barge advance first?
Yeah,
or
does the
do
barge go
we
after Shawnee
do
first,
our
or
thing
does she
first?
get to the glitter boy first?
No, that's fine because we're
We have
not
a better-
natu-
yeah, we have a
we're
better
not
shoot.
like real combat against them. We're
Yep.
trying to escape.
So this
This
is a
is-
retreat round, then yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, by the way, I'm part of the team, so my luck rolls into the draw.
Yeah. You guys got a flush 3-4 king of spades. All coalition.
King's okay. Blue board Joker.
Queen 7. So,
Got
she
him.
she is using
That was all skill.
every bit of strength coursing through her legs, or her magical strength, to push towards that thing and outpace this barge. You actually see it's trying to throw the cages, the little floating cages it has. It's trying to basically run her over with those cages of people. But she runs and slides into the smoke.
How skinny to sugar to pop, like get open. Also to instruct use for first time user, like here we go.
Put on training wheels.
Tutorial mode.
Sugar reminds you.
This is just a tutorial level.
Sugar reminds you that your trigger is still linked to your Wilkes pistol.
Absolutely.
So
It'll be fine. That means I can still shoot the boom gun. Get ready, Shawnee. I'm not putting no hooks down if I don't know. Shawnee's shaking. Fuck her. Shoot again. Boom.
but you're knocking around that armor, though.
No, I'm gonna wait till she gets knocked in. She gets to ride the armor.
Well, I'm just saying you're knocking back the armor and damaging it more if you keep shooting without locked in. I know it was a joke, but just saying. All right, so she slides in and does that. You see the Evinrude come over the tree line, over the canyon. So you're looking across the canyon and see him coming over. Sugar Sisters have started to make they're starting to do a trench run. They've accelerated and they're coming down into the trench way back where we left the Rangers almost. And they're just going to start, going down the trench and trying to spot this barge. They see where the smoke is. You guys lay down enough of it. But it's also raining and all that stuff, so.
No.
He's going. Jimbo's going for you, right? That was the.
That's yes.
Jimbo's angling up and trying to hide his trajectory because he doesn't want to get blasted by this barge. So he's kind of going to do a little whoop around and hop down on that side of the canyon since he has to cross the canyon to get to you. The Rangers also quick chirped in that they're moving up to lay down covering fire and distraction if needed.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, they're willing to sacrifice themselves if it gets the if it gets the thing done.
I meant bad idea for them.
Right.
So,
That's
uh-oh.
they knew what they were. They know what they're doing, getting into.
Yeah.
They're code as Rangers, so and they've got that Cyber Knight, oomph to them, that martyrdom and sacrifice.
You want to let hum the Rescue Rangers theme song? Oh, that's Captain Planet. What is the Rescue Rangers theme song?
Rescue Rangers.
Rescue Rangers.
No, that's also Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's a hero.
What?
I don't know. I know just the Rescue
I messed
Rangers
it up by
part.
saying Captain Planet.
Yes.
Rescue Rangers theme song.
Now all I can think of is DuckTales.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun,
I remember the intro. They ride a roller skate on top of the tree, and there's a girl Rescue Ranger, and
Gadget.
yeah,
Chip
we'll figure it out.
and Dale's Rescue Rangers,
Yeah.
Gadget, and the Big Mouse. Can't remember who his name was.
Now I'm like putting it into the Captain Planet thing. Chippendales Rescue Rangers. That's Captain Planet.
And what's Tailspins?
Hang on.
Starts with the bongos. Tailspin. I know that's the end of it. Woo!
DuckTales.
Woo! All right. So while we descend into 90s cartoon nostalgia mode, your helmet gets the confirmation that new user or what do you do? Suit seal and lock. So you're gonna get our stream taken down.
That's fine, but I'm actually just learning that I don't remember that theme song at all. Even a little bit.
We'll look it up later. All right, so
Rescue Rangers, Chippendales.
Something danger.
Yeah, danger is because it rhymes with Ranger.
Got it.
Got him. You guys. She gets into the suit. The barge is quickly coming up on her. Sugar Sisters are starting their trench run.
Is she still covered in smoke?
Yeah, she's covered in dark smoke.
Because so they can my helmet relay information down to Sugar?
Uh-huh.
Because it's not IR or anything like that. It's just magic blocking smoke with visual stuff. So
your IR goes right through it.
Beautiful. All right.
So you can see inside, but that Splugorth hopefully cannot see.
Yes, but we
Though
can
the
aim at the
Splugorth
barge,
does have some type of technological thing on his head. He's mainly also bio-wizardry himself. So
I'm just saying we can pinpoint where the Splugorth barge is at this point because of rain, idea, and trajectory fire. That's cool. So
yeah, if you want to relay targeting information, just make me a.
Well, I don't know if we
check.
want to make Shawnee stay for a shot or escape.
Like, she may not be able to climb out of here with that thing on her.
Then we're shooting it. All right. So relay what?
So make a notice to pinpoint the barge.
All right. I'm gonna add a d6.
Okay.
9.
That you pinpointed where you think the barge is. You also see where the 4 cages are, and they're like he's sitting them forward, trying to ram into and smash the Glitter Boy armor now.
Fuck them. Right. We've already blown up so many slaves anyway.
We're going into turn base.
All right. Is that me or Sugar or Shawnee?
That's you.
What? Such a thing has never happened before.
Double Joker.
What does that mean? I get to go twice?
I get to go twice.
So you tell me what happens this round.
Yeah. Right.
That's amazing. So you narrate this scene. The Sugar Sisters are making their trench run at the barge. The Evinrude's crossing the canyon. Shawnee's in the armor. He's waiting on the other side for Jimbo.
All right.
And you're looking down.
Sugar Sisters do a crossover pattern and create a distraction / overlay. I don't have anything to say about that part because at this point the Castle Refuge people have kind of taken a hint from our current battle plan and are ignoring slave rights. Like, we're not saving anybody anymore. We got what we came for, unfortunately. And so whether I go, oh, don't do that or not, or we have moral obligations.
Well, they're shooting the bar.
That's what I'm saying. The Sugar Sisters don't care about that. The Evinrude doesn't care about the Rangers. Don't seem to care about that. They're here to make sure that he gets off with those girls. If we can bring us back, that's great. But everything else is a loss down there. So cross pattern, distractions, blasting the barge. The Evinrude is not far behind and kind of gets on him. Shawnee is going to shoot based on my trigger right at the barge.
So in that IR smoke, she plants down, and you have control of the trigger, so blast it.
I can never tell what a D10 looks like.
Do we get a +4 to this? Or
No, I have
Plus
negative.
two.
But I have -2 for wounds, so.
You're not -2 for wounds because Shawnee's in the actual driver's seat.
Whoa.
So an 8 for striking.
Okay, is that with the +2?
Oh, so 10.
So 10, yeah, because
Wait.
you're using Shawnee's body.
What?
Did you roll a 9 on that?
I did, but I rolled. Oh, so that makes more sense. So 9.
Just because you
A lower,
staged it doesn't mean
so-
you have to take it if it's still lower, right?
What?
No,
Like
I
he
re-rolled
staged the 6.
And then rolled
No,
But
so
then
I rolled a
2, so
9,
only get
and then I
8.
rolled a 6 on my wild, and then I rolled a 2 for an
So,
8.
yeah,
So
take the
9
9.
was higher. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So 9 plus 2 is 11.
But -2 is still 9.
I'm not injured.
He's not. He's
Or
just
Shawnee's
pulling
not
the trigger.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you,
I'm just
Shawnee's
launching.
in the
Basically,
in
I'm
the
standing
armor.
on top of the hill with my gun going, firing the
Yep.
boom gun.
You're what is it, the man in the chair at the moment?
I hate to say, because of our crazy speed tactics, things like that, I did not lock in. So she is.
I said she
He
locked
said
in.
she
Oh,
locked
she
Yeah,
locked in.
Sugar locked in.
Fuck yeah, then. Multiple turns.
Yeah.
Multiple turns.
All right.
Okay.
I get his band.
Do I? Is it a raise? Do I get to put another?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. All right, that's not good. That is not good.
That's 14, that's 15.
19, 21 out
21.
of 4 fucking days.
21.
We're gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
A reroll.
Yeah. 21 damage, AP 25. Re-roll that. Much better. 13, 14, 21, 24.
Yeah, much better.
24 plus 6 is 30.
+2.
Plus 2 is 32. AP 25.
So the rain is coming. The rain is coming down on her. The wind is picking up. The smoke's starting to thin out because it's been a couple rounds. She's locked in, using your trajectory information. Like she's just in there,
And the barge is getting carpeted by
and like
missiles.
the Sugar Sisters are using all their mini missiles, their auto lasers, just blanketing that entire area, doing a complete strafe strike down that where the barge is. It roars in defiance. You hear, but still can't see. The 4 slave cages are coming at her, and then like in pure anime style, there's like Shawnee in there like looking, like she peeks up, and the gun is out, tied to your trigger. The smoke clears from her, and it hits that barge, and you just see that hex pattern magical shield shatter behind it. The barge tumbles backwards. The invisibility spell is gone. It crashes, rolls on its side like a coin almost, with this thing in it. Lands to the ground. You see all the eyeballs appear that are its tracking little measures and notice ball, like its little sensors. They appear and just crash to the ground. The 4 slave cages that are hovering, that are coming at the glitter boy, appear, fall to the ground, and dig in. And the fluid is just pouring out. Some caustic, terrible fluid from the barge that this thing lives in.
Can I taste it?
I wouldn't do
Just
that.
kidding. It's Robert's
the
not here,
Splugrod
so let's
slaver,
taste everything.
the Splugrod slaver itself crawls out, takes its staff, as it kind of rears up, slams it down, and there's a blinding flash of light out. And then the last thing you see of it is its tail burrowing into the ground as it uses a burrow spell to get the hell out of here. But the barge is down.
Sweet.
The slave cages are resting in front of the glitter boy, just all around. Shawnee's like, "That's so cool."
I didn't bring any cigarettes, but I feel like I need them. I pretend to smoke.
The Sugar Sisters come back for another pass to try to disperse or pacify these legionnaires that are still there. You get picked up in the Evinrude, who then immediately goes over to you. Hop from one side of the cavern to the other side of the cavern. Canyon. Picks you up and then heads down to pick Shawnee up. He's like, I think I can attach these 4 cages to the bottom.
You should do that.
Yeah. So he's got something that he does, which like magnetizes the bottom of the hull and picks all them up. And you guys fly back to the nearby town where Coda is waiting.
Yeah, double jokers.
What?
How did that even happen?
That is insane. Insane way to end the fight. You still didn't kill the slaver, but you did destroy a barge.
Smash everything else. Sorry, break.
Break time.
Go get him, Bandy.
Get him, Bandy.
Make him pee faster.
A little bit sad. No GT. GT, where are you? So, a costly V against the Splugorth at Castle Refuge.
No costly for who?
You're like, I didn't get scratched.
I tend to be pretty good at doing that with my character.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Get disengage.
And I was a little surprised. Our last session, I literally thought there's going to be Shawnee and James were going to die, and I was going to be the only one to escape. And I was like, wow, that just happened. So the fact that we got everyone out, like, of the group is, to me, a little like, oh,
you had a solid plan, and the double jokers were on your side. That's a crazy draw. Crazy draw.
That's not Mitch.
No, that's a bandolier. Bandolier, get up in his chair.
You want to get up in the chair?
No.
It would make more sense if you played for me, but
It would. You'd make an awesome dog boy, Bandolier.
The bathroom's a smaller space, so the air conditioner's turned it into a refrigerator.
Yeah, so I didn't think about this before, but he was. We're going to talk about some AC talk right now. It's kind of crazy.
Not armor class.
not armor class, air conditioning. So he comes in, he's got one of those little infrared thermometers, and he's shooting the intake, and then he goes around and he shoots the vents. And what you want with an air conditioner is a 20-degree difference from what is being sucked in to what is being put out. And so he was going around and he was shooting. He was like, it was 81 degrees in our house here in Arizona. It was 81 going in, and then he finally got it to 61 coming out. Like perfect 20 degrees. But he couldn't do that bathroom because the vent was shut. So it wasn't putting out stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, can you open that? He's like, yeah, sure. And I gave him like a screwdriver and he opened it. I'm like, it was probably closed for a reason. And I bet it's because it's so tiny, like that thing just gets arctic. So if you're in the morning, especially in the, you're in the summertime taking a hot shower, you get out and it's blasting 70 degrees in there.
So we bought a house in November, AC story. Everything's great. Love it. Everything's great. Neat, space, color, everything's perfect. Air conditioner's a huge air conditioning unit outside. Wonderful. Pressure, whole house, cool. In the bedroom, one of the old air vents is built into the bathroom in the standing shower.
In the
so
it's
here's the
blowing
shower.
air into
There it
the
is.
bathroom?
The air vent is in the shower.
That's fucked up.
So I tried to close it. The problem is that nothing ever really closes when you have a vent.
Yeah.
So what it really does is
Angle
aim
it
it down. So I have to leave it open and chill the bathroom, or aim it down and freeze you while you're naked. So I chose cold bathroom versus cold Willy. That's one of those few things. I'm actually probably going to open it up and put something in there to block it, because in the room will get more air conditioning and things like that.
Right, it'll push everything everywhere else.
Welcome to Arizona, where the conversations about air conditioning are actually interesting.
Oh my god, it's bad here when the AC goes out.
It was 106 degrees today, and we haven't had rain for over 100 days, so air conditioning is on our mind quite a bit.
Alright, so back to the game. Jimbo picks you all up, picks up the slaves, takes you back to Coda. They drop the newly captured slaves off to get looked at and treated, and they fly you and the Altera straight off to Castle Refuge.
I thought we were going to some small town nearby. It was a staging point, right?
That was a staging point. That's where you dropped off the slave cages.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You dropped off the slave cages with Coda for treatment, and then you guys are taking the Altera back to
Castle Refuge.
Castle Refuge.
Those cages had people in them?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they absolutely did.
So we saved 8 slaves out of 247.
Saved a little bit more than that.
No, you saved about like 30 people from those 4 cages.
No, I know. I'm being
Now,
plus the 6 Altera women. Right?
plus the 6. And then the thing is, like, the Legionnaires, most of them are already processed. Like, they don't walk in, capture someone, slap something on their back, and give them a gun. It takes longer to get the bio-wizardry shackles on.
They've got to break them and make them work.
Right.
Why spend the money if they're just going to turn immediately? Look at
So-
that thing.
His stack of
His stack of
fittings.
I spent mine immediately. They're like chocolate chips to me. I'm like, no. Let's make cookies. Too late, Mom. Wait, don't have the chocolate chips.
Maybe I'll spend them talking to Elle.
Fuck you, Benny. Kind of fuck you, Benny. I guess, Benny.
Talking to who?
Benny. Sleep
Elle.
with Elle.
Elle Vows.
Oh, Elves.
Or Ragnar Thunderaxe, or Oriana, or
Yep.
Borg Bob.
So, Vana.
Norla Cheney.
Vana is the Altera that is conscious and chose to come with you.
Vana.
Vana. Vahna. Vana.
Her last name is Watt. Whhhite.
Vana what?
Vana Watt.
Vana Watt. Vana Watt. Turn the letters Vana Watt.
I don't do that anymore.
Does she not do that anymore?
Oh yeah, she
still
does
does
it.
yeah.
Vanna Watt doesn't anymore.
No, she doesn't.
Vanna White definitely still does it. She's actually one of the few people to successfully sue Wheel of Fortune because a camera turned and hit her and broke her collarbone.
Right. Yep.
And she sued them for negligence, and the network was like, "Are you really sure you want to do this? Like, you're really all you do is turn letters." And she's like, "Fuck you! We're going to court. You're paying for all this." So they awarded her some ridiculous sum, and she took the coverage of her medical bills, and that was it. They were like, "Here's $300,000." She's like, "How much was my medical bills?" They're like $65,000, or $60,000. She's like, "That's what I want, $6,500." So she paid for her medical stuff and kept her job. She was like, "I just want you guys to pay for this because you did it."
Yep.
That's all it was. That's why she still turns letters.
So Vana is she like the leader of these people?
No.
She just happens to be just the one that's awake.
The one that's like, though she does, like, after you get all the other ones off of you, she does shackle up 2 of them and say that they probably won't be happy that they're captured. The other one that was staggered when you took, she seems fine with the situation as is now. Though they're definitely antsy. Like, you take it back to that town and they look around and they start looking at each other and you start getting this vibe of like,
We're gonna run.
They're gonna try to run or they're gonna try to attack you. And then they hear you talk about a castle somewhere. Like, oh, like it's more than just this ragtag little village in the middle of nowhere. They do get much more comforted when you get to Castle Refuge. And then most of them, except for the 2 that are shackled, are completely almost break down in tears, ecstatic that they're freed.
The
once
2
they
shackled
see,
ones are turned then, so more or less they're not happy.
They're not happy. They're dyed-in-the-wool slave warriors of the Splugorth. They're pretty brainwashed, and/or they just a little bit evil themselves. They liked what they did. Though you're not entirely sure. But once they meet Oriana, a freed blind warrior woman that's been liberated for years, the 4 that were having qualms are like, oh my god, we're finally free. And the other 2 are like, okay, we can be free. That's kind of cool. They calm down a bit, but they're still probably just going to be prisoners for a while. So, again, these people get taken in. They get medical treatment. They get.
I need medical treatment.
Right, you get medical treatment. Your armor goes right into get repaired. You guys are getting re-outfitted, rearmed. There's lots of accolades and thanks out to you guys. They've gone over the records. They're debriefing. So, in the next day or 2, there's already been 3 retaliatory attacks. One of them, they wiped out a village, the Splugorth, they took no slaves. It was just you attacked us, this is what happens when you do that. And they just wiped out a village. But you guys get pulled back into briefings, and now it's just with, you said their names, it's the commander,
Hank Magruder, Hank Magruder,
the glitter boy,
and Pancho McNulty.
It's Bob, it's Ella Vowles,
Anila Dorsek,
yep,
Albert Chance,
Pancho McMountain Dew.
And they're there with
Nola Cheney,
several of the Altera.
That's what I meant, Nola Cheney. Sorry, not Pancho McMountain Dew.
They are there with several of the Altera, and you guys get a briefing saying that this is indeed a slave raid party. This is from a city in Splin, or an outlying territory of Splin. So what you're seeing through that rift is the home world of the Splugorth. Mm-hmm. It is their main hub city out in the multiverse somewhere. It's not Atlantis. It's not anything else.
It's called Splin.
Splin. Spylnn.
Splin.
Oh, Splynn.
Oh,
Splin. This is what they do. They have a rock formation that acts as a nexus. When it opens up to worlds, they either invade it, depending on what the world is, to raid it as slaves, or they close it and wait for the next rift to open. The shifter, obviously, when he did his rift shift, opened it to that. And now they're going to hold this open as long as it's lucrative. This gives them a spearhead into a much deeper realm in the Americas. And they're already coordinating with Atlantis, because Atlantis is invading the East Coast. So now they have a direct raiding party into the heartland of Riftsur.
So what happened was we didn't cause enough damage for them to give up.
Not now. So this is, and they tell you, this is what's going to happen next. So there's 6 slave barges on rotation, and the slave barges are the main hubs of their forces. 2 barges are always back in Splin. 4 are out raiding. Now that you've taken one out and shown that you're a threat, they're going to up the ante, like they just did by wiping out. They're going to try to scatter you, pacify you, do whatever it is to fear you and get you out of here. She licking you. like there's a dog down there. No one else. So
licking my toes, tickled a little bit. It's like
that's their first tactic. they can be deterred, but you're going to have to do more damage. They're going to keep committing the 4 barges. They're probably not going to pull up another one. So there's only going to be 5 barges. So they're going to be working. There should be more downtime with the barges because they normally have 2 in, 4, or 4 in, 2 out. Now it's probably going to be more like 3 in, 2 out, 1 in, 4 in, or 1 out, 4 in.
Arrested, unfortunately.
So there's going to be less slave raiding.
How long? Oh, sorry.
They have, in this detachment, they had 2 equestrian power armors. You've taken out 1. They can call for more if they feel that this is something they want to invest in.
Great.
They have at least 6 serpentine power armors, which are the next step down from the equestrians. The thing that people have spotted, which that unfortunate scout got to see firsthand on the other side, sitting above the rift in the city, is a dragon dreadnought. Show this to the people at home. There are only 10 of these.
Show this to... damn it.
There are only 10 of these made by the Katani. They wipe out entire species. They are floating fortress dreadnoughts of made to be dragons, and dragon killers. It can't fit through the rift, luckily, but this also means that anything that gets near that rift from the front is going to be annihilated.
So they basically tapped that because of the damage we did. It
was already there.
Out there.
So it's in the city, and now this rift is open, and this is kind of a prize to them to get a permanent rift that they can open deeper into America or into Rift's Earth. So they positioned their 1 dragon dreadnought on the other side just to keep that spearhead, that beachhead, secure. You can't. That just means you cannot, unless you're doing it with artillery, assault the base.
All right.
You have to make it more costly for them out in the field. So the next thing they're going to do, and they've already started, is start to send out more pacifying parties. They're going to try to kill your heroes now. It's not just going to be the slave raiders. They're going to send out equestrian and serpentine power armors and the Metzlas and other things, hunter-killer teams specifically to kill your military might. Your glitter boys, your robots, your power armors, to completely destroy your resistance to them. But if you were to be able to destroy 1 more barge, they would probably pull out.
We can't leave it open. Like before, we were like, we can't leave it open. Now we can't leave it open. As much as I want to go find Paraxis, we've got to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
So how much time has passed between return and
3 days?
3 days. So what do we know that's helpful from the Metzla?
About the Metzla?
The Morian women.
Altarian.
Altarian.
warrior.
Sorry, not the Metzla.
The Metzla are the weird.
Yeah, seriously. That's what have they given us?
Can I get one of those?
Anything that we can use? Anything that we don't know? I mean, obviously there's gonna be stuff we don't know, but I mean, have we made enough leeway with them by giving them freedom to really get something out of them?
2 of them are willing to join you in your fight against them. They're that fired up about their freedom and this opportunity and their hatred of the Splugor. 2 of them are kind of like, hey, we're free. We don't want to go back into this life, so we're done.
That makes sense.
And then the other 2 are in captivity.
We can't hold that.
They...
Right in the trash can. I rolled a 2.
Do I make it in the trash can?
You did.
They are giving detailed...
Also D20, that's a good throw skill. They're
giving you detailed analysis of everything. They're telling you what kind of spells the slavers and the high lords and these things can have, the schematics that they know. I mean, they were just guards on the barges, but they did get to see a lot. So they're helping you with like the information, but it doesn't really help you counter it. There's nothing they can do to like say undo invisibility on a barge or anything like that. They're saying like if they can get on a barge, they can sabotage it. But you also have to deal with the shield, the warrior women that are on it, and the slaver that's on it, and all its spells, and the legionnaires.
Well, we do know that I can direct hit the shield off.
Yes.
Because there was literally no damage onto that shield before I rolled a 30, which is not a big hit for me.
Nope. Someone runs in to the room and says, Elle, everyone, there's something approaching the castle. It just appeared. It's in the sky.
Is it balloons?
Red balloons. 99 of them.
Those are luft balloons, not red balloons.
What's left in German?
Son of a bitch.
The answer's red. 99 red balloons.
You know, she says 99 red luft balloons. 99 red luft balloons. Something else in German too. Yeah.
99 red balloons in American, 99 Luftballons in German. I think you're mixing the two versions of the song up.
Well, why he reaches is that what?
Is everyone running outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you running outside
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
big buddy?
Also, luft is rope is red. Luft is air. Air
Ah,
balloons.
so
Yeah.
99 air balloons.
That's why this is
red
99,
air balloons.
99 red luft balloons. 99 red air balloons. Good.
Red air. How are they floating?
She doesn't say anything about them floating.
She releases them and watches them go.
Go by, not fly by.
And they just fall to the ground.
99 red
Yes.
luft balloons go by. Red is rope. See?
And the whole
Took
thing
German
about
high school.
the thing is when they let 99 red balloons go, they went into the air and it started a war.
Yeah.
Because they mistook them for an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be helium.
Not
air.
Air balloon.
What's German for air for helium?
Probably helium.
Helium. So you guys head outside and flying
Looking for the
towards
lyrics now. It's 99 red luft balloons. I took German in high school. That's how I know this very specifically. Anyway, sorry, we go outside.
You go outside, and in the air is this shimmering ship. You got something to say about the Luft balloons thing?
Just says 99 Luft balloons. It doesn't say red.
That's what I said.
No, you said it.
Anyway.
All right. Anyway, we'll settle this when we get back to the bar.
That's all. No, it's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Uh,
I was like, Luft is not red, it's rope.
outside, there's a shimmering ship. It's long, has a steep. What's the bottom of the boat? Stern? Keel. Yeah, it has a steep keel at the bottom.
When it's long, it's
It's
at the bottom. There's
a long, sharp keel at the bottom. It kind of goes up. Then it has an angular, blocky top, and it's just like this long, piercing. It looks like almost like a boat. Like if you saw oars coming out of this thing and moving, it wouldn't surprise you at all because it's got that shape. And then on the top, it's kind of angular and blocky. Next to it are two starry-shaped ships. Think of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the ships of the Nova Corps, like the stars. And they all linked up.
No one here knows what he's
Yeah.
yeah.
There's two things like that coming in.
stars like this, not like this.
Not like that. They got a fin up here, two fins that way, and two fins down. Look like 5-pointed star. But they're not moving. Like they're not actuated.
I think this is Nova Corps.
I think this is Nova Corps. It's all flying in.
Ain't coming out of
look
riff
like
by the fuck
those
now.
look like gunships They look like they have weapons. They have some weird like lances coming out the front of them, though you don't see barrels on them. Like there's not holes. It just has these lances coming out.
I'm sure they're here to help.
But they stop like well outside the range of your guys' artillery and guns, and the main ship kind of comes in and aims itself towards the main gate and slows down. So not coming in like it's gonna ram or anything like that. Definitely coming in.
We've said it's large, but what are we talking about?
Talking about like 30-foot long, probably about 10-foot wide. 10 foot.
It's like a really big boat.
Yeah, it's
not like an attack, not like an aircraft carrier or a battleship.
It's like a long ship for a Viking, that size, just long, wide.
Sorry, the description was scary enough, and I'm like, I need some size.
It's kind of
banana for scale.
It's iridescent and like silvery, but it also has that mother of pearl iridescence kind of going about it, where it's refracting light in a weird way.
Opalescence.
Opalescence, yes. And it comes down and it stops about 30 yards from the main gate and stands there and sits there like stops. Your glitter boy is repaired, by the way.
No, so that's fine.
You go talk to it, Charisma.
You have a +2?
I have +4.
A +4?
Yeah. I'm pretty fucking
Yeah,
nice.
it's being a douche over there.
Yeah, but we have like Ella Owls here. Like I don't speak for Castle Keep. Like we should wait for the diplomats to go out there and say something.
I guess my mom was like, you don't want to send me out.
Yeah, you definitely
I'm joking. That's why I said you should go out and talk to him.
There's Elevals, there's all of them, but yes, they're leaders. They're not cowards. They're not fight from behind. They will go out and do what's needed. But they're also the castle itself has been under such siege lately and such harm. To lose its leadership would be a huge blow. So they actually like.
Why don't you just volunteer to go talk to them?
The Grand Protector says she'll go out. The dwarf woman.
I'll go with her.
Ragnar Thunderaxe?
No, it's a woman's name.
Ragnar's not. I was to say Ragnar's not a woman's name. I'll go
we
with her.
haven't learned about this person then.
She is the head. They wanted her to be queen, and she said no. So she became the Grand Protector, which is an honorary title, even though everyone looks to her as the leader.
I hid. I'm hidden. I was going to say that
I had.
No, obviously I armor up. I'm following a female dwarf girl.
Come on, where are you? Dude, I'm pretty sure she was in there. It's something axe. Sorry for the delay. I should have had this written out already. There we go.
Elmira Thunderaxe. Still.
Should we Mindy Thunderaxe?
No.
No.
Dara Hammerheart.
Dara Hammerheart.
Yep. Though her own clan and many she took in at the outset called for Dara Hammerheart to wear the crown and be called queen, she adamantly refused. She was willing to lead militarily and in matters of defense and building, but she wanted no absolute power over the community. So she runs the Council of Hope, and she is the High Defender of Refuge.
Is Castle Refuge in there, or did you write Castle Refuge?
Castle Refuge is part of the Savage Rifts. That's their edition. So Tolkien got destroyed, and then when Savage Worlds got their license, they created Castle Refuge.
Gotcha.
And the Tomorrow Legion, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this. This probably is only the first time this has actually come up. You guys are part of the Tomorrow Legion. You are Tomorrow Legionnaires. That's what it means to be a part of Castle Refuge and their group. It is Aaron Tarn goes out and tries to find the stuff about the past, but it's great to find out about the past. We now have to look towards the future, and there hasn't been a good faction that has been seeming like they could win or do something, anything against people like the Coalition, the Zytikic, the Northern Gun Republic, or the New German Republic, and all these other fascist, industrialized nations, or the monsters that are coming through the rifts. So this is the formalization of a group that can fight to be better and do that stuff. So it's Castle Refuge, and they recently allied with Laszlo, and Laszlo was allied with Tolkien,
Gotcha.
but Tolkien is gone.
Yeah.
So right now it's just Castle Refuge, Laszlo, and that's about it. Like in this, because Tolkien is gone. Weak beginnings and already being besieged. Will the Tomorrow Legion make it? We'll find out.
Tomorrow.
Maybe right now.
All right, so like I said,
Walk out
I'll
with
go with Dara.
Dara.
I'm armored, obviously, but I go out to act as backup cover. I'm impressive to look at. So
You are. Are you going out as well?
Behind them.
Yep. And so will Shawnee.
I'm in my power armor. They don't know I'm a dog boy.
It kind of like
Right?
even if you don't,
you have a tail.
you have a tail
Yeah, I guess
and your armor mouth
My
is
armor
shaped
is
by.
shaped.
But it is a good representation of what Castle Refuge has to offer,
It's true.
because you have a true Atlantean walking out with you, you have a glitter boy, and you have a dog boy.
Then we also have a dwarven battle master who's
Yep.
our spokesperson for our military, or at least our protectorate.
So you all walk out in front of the gates. The gates to this place are really well designed, because you can't attack them directly unless you're flying like this guy is. Because the moment you come out the gates, there's a turn. You have to go down a mountain essentially around this area. So you walk out kind of into this area, but there's not much before there's just a drop off. I'm pretty sure it shows it somewhere in here, but I'll bring it up later. There's the picture halfway. There's a shimmer in front of that ship, on the flat edge of the front of it. And then there's a shimmer, kind of like lens flare almost, in front of you. And this person appears, winks into existence out of the lens flare. She is in gold, black, and blue armor. It's got large eyes, a smooth helmet back with some flair to it. Doesn't look Coalition. It looks very magical. There's a lot of lattice work and little filigree and all this kind of stuff through it all.
I hope it doesn't look Coalition.
A big
Fuck will they be doing?
luminous blue interior, black cape. There's a sword and a scepter.
Cape with a black interior.
Uh,
What's an interior cape?
So the lining of the cape, the inside of the cape is black, shiny.
I'm just saying you're not saying an interior cape.
No.
What is
I'm sorry,
a black
the lining.
interior cape. Is what
The
you said,
interior of the cape,
Gotcha.
the lining of the cape.
All right, I'm just curious. I got a good picture. I was like, "Fuck's an interior cape?"
And she's got there's a scepter coming out from one side, just a handle of what looks like to be a large gold and silver inscribed with runes, rod, a scepter of some type of authority, but she's not holding it, and a sword. So obviously powerful of that. You see that there's swirling energy around her. Some type of magical shields or effects or fields are going on. If your helmet is open, your senses go wild with magic all over this thing.
Only if your helmet's open.
She walks forward and just motions, and her helmet just kind of comes into pieces and reforms behind her. There's a woman standing in front of you. She is pale and freckled with red hair. And she introduces herself as... Let me find my notes. Grand Magus Kylie of the city of Dwarmer.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
How do you spell Kylie?
Kyli.
That book's pretty cool. I was very upset to find how many magical robots could attack us in that book. I was like,
Dwarmer.
that's
You
so.
can spell that one?
If you can see behind us,
DWORMIR.
those of
It's
you watching at home,
crazy.
you can see behind us is the Wizard's Library, and you're looking at about half of it because it goes that way. There's some more stuff over here, but I had the original Rift source book when I was a kid. It's how I ended up meeting our DMs that I read it cover to cover a whole bunch of times. So I bought the Federation of Magic because it came up in our game a couple of times, and there's actually a rule book for it. You showed it a second ago, but I was really sad to find out that really it's a fucking monster manual, basically, like for the DM or the GM. Like, it's got some neat stuff in it for us, but really it's like a whole lot of bad news for us. That's like, there's monsters in there I never even would have conceived of on my own. Articulate animatronics and golems and just ridiculous magical foes. I regretted my purchase instantly. Have you read through that?
Yeah.
No, him.
Sorry.
Like, it's...
I don't know if I've seen it until right now.
So she says that she is an emissary from the Lords of Magic, from the Federation of Magic. She doesn't say True Federation of Magic. She says the Federation of Magic. And representative of Dwarmer as a emissary and protector.
Or I think somewhere back in the line, our group had some interaction with the Federation of Magic, didn't we? Or we at least...
The True Federation of Magic, the City of Brass, is what sent the
That's what
shifter.
it was. So...
The shifter was from
Oh wait,
the
I'm
True
not in charge of this
Federation.
conversation, so we'll wait for... I'll let Dara take the lead, but I immediately was like,
Now,
Federation of Magic.
you have been here long enough to know that Dara, she's a woman of few words and straight to the point, and she will also... She defers to everyone. So if you do want to talk, you absolutely can, and you have that right with her.
Like I said...
Do we have any knowledge of this?
The only thing
Of
you know...
this Federation of Magic?
No, you have never heard of the city of Dormer before.
Yeah.
All you know from your coalition training is anything from the Federation of Magic are terrorists, evil, DB-loving things that destroy everyone. And then in your most recent encounters from the true Federation of Magic, the city of Brass and that shifter, or that's where that shifter was from, that tried to destroy Castle Refuge.
Got it.
So, for you, being who you are, skeptical all around about this.
So that would be my first question, if Dara's just going to kind of look and be like...
Yeah, Dara is like... Yeah, Dara looks to see, because she obviously doesn't seem like she has any knowledge of this.
So I mean, what, if any, link to the city of Brass do you have?
We are their number one rival, and Lord Dunscon's... Dunscon, and I think it's Dunson is actually how you pronounce it, just like Tucson, because it's an Dunscon. Dunson's most hated foe in his own land.
That is Dunson, sounds like... I mean, this is one of those enemy of the enemy is my friend kind of things.
We are allies of Laszlo. And Laszlo is the city. Yeah.
Being a dick.
I don't know Laszlo.
Who's this Laszlo guy?
And we are. It is unfortunate for us that we have only now recently heard that you were besieged by emissaries of, you were besieged by the forces of the city of Brass.
Yeah.
We are sorry that we could not have sent
sent
parties sooner.
So did the Brass open the Splugorth Rift? That's where the shifter and
The shifter.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Now the shifter opened the Splugorth Rift, but he did not stay to try to enslave it or control it.
Oh, we ran him off.
Right.
He
He turned around and laughed at you, but the moment he saw that it was Splugorth, he got the hell out of there because he didn't want to fight him either. He just knew that he was bringing another wild card onto the table.
All right, that's what I thought.
So, Kylie continues with a kind of little speech that Dwarmer is the city that, the unattainable city. It's hidden and all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. But that they are friends of progressives and the like. And this is that they've finally gotten told about Castle Refuge. by their allies in Laszlo, their allies in the Cyber Knights. They are regretful that they could not have sent help sooner to aid you against the Shifter and the assaults from the City of Brass.
Perfect. Is this all the forces that they brought? Or is this all the forces that you brought? Excuse me.
This is just the ambassador, like, coterie. They are generally peaceful, and they try to stay out of conflicts, but they do train for military, and they can share.
And their presence is a surprise. Nobody from Castle Refuge called on them, or it's just they just got word of our battle with the Splugar.
They don't seem to know about this Wileyverse.
Oh, okay.
They've got word that you fought people from the City of Brass, and now they're coming here.
Gotcha. It's frustrating real quick when I think about this. I got it.
Yep.
Sorry, y'all. It's my manager.
Impact regular. And I just when you brought up the other window, it's like impact regular.
Oh, Impact, yeah.
That was the stream.
Impact regular. It's the font.
How's the stream health, by the way?
Good. Green all night long. Solid green down here. We're in the pipe. 5x5. You have anything you want to ask or question?
I don't know. I think I'll let him roll with this one. I don't really. I mean, I don't necessarily like magic one way or the other, so I'm not really like. Let's just say I'm still skeptical of these people.
As you should.
Even though they're like, oh, we're enemies of these people that you fought. I was like, well, that's cool, but
What should I call her?
you also do magic and shit, so. What'd you call her?
She's a Grand Magus. And
Grand Magus Kylie?
Kylie, yeah.
From the city of Dwarmer? Emissary / protector?
Correct.
Taking down notes.
So to get a feel for the kind of armor and regalia you're facing.
We're not facing it. We're just
No,
it's
well,
here.
that's there. So that's a little bit of the look, but that's a combat one. And you have.
I just wanted to show off a nice butt.
So you start to get a feel for like that facial look, and then you have things like. So it's got like the big eyes, the swooped back helm. Like hers is got like golden bars coming down here, all that stuff. But very, very magical.
All right, so I guess I would start by. She said all the right names in the right places and the right friendly things. They stopped out front. They presented themselves. So I would probably start by welcoming them. Letting them know that we're the Tomorrow League, this is Castle Refuge, that we guard it, we're here to speak with you, and that we follow. What was the friend? Laszlo. That Laz was a friend of ours. That we did.
And Lord Coke was another big one.
And we had sided with Tolkien in the past. Obviously, they were members of ours.
And that's what most of the refugees, most of the people here are from Tolkien.
Well, then also that our dealings with the City of Brass have also been negative, so we welcome any assistance we can have. And then probably skinny the dark times that we're in. Like what just happened with Broadkill, what just happened with the Splugorth, that we have things to do, that our forces are thin. I might even give away too much info. Oh, hey, while we're talking, also, I get out on Sunday.
You're successful. I just want to see if you get a raise.
Oh, okay.
So give me a persuasion. I want to see how well you present your side.
With a 5.
With a +4 charisma.
Oh, that's right, 9.
So, yeah, you come out and
I'm
you're
so
like,
sweet.
You got that southern charm.
Yeah.
It's like the first time you meet Josh. You know, like I'm just a southern boy. This and that. Blah,
I
blah,
forgot,
blah.
ma'am. I don't know nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
you son of a bitch. You got me.
You got me. I love you.
I love you too. Shout out to Josh if you're watching in Afghanistan.
Nice.
I know he's
We
not.
should send the link. Watch us nerds play D&D. So Dara, like after the introductions outside, Dara invites them in, and a couple more maguses appear from the ships, and the actual big long ship kind of like comes down and sets itself against the
Magus is a mage.
yeah,
Magus.
Magus is a magus.
Mm-hmm.
Magi, magus,
Yeah.
maguses.
That's what I was just
like,
making sure
yeah.
that's what we were talking about.
I'm pretty sure it's not magi or magus. It's mage, so magus.
Well, Magus is wise men.
Yeah.
The mages was,
They are specific to Dormer. They are really potent in magic.
sorry, I'm getting King
Yeah.
James 3rd edition Bible. And
Yeah.
there I'm like, Magi. Wise men.
Yeah, they are magi. They are like there's ley line walkers who are super powerful
Move
around
on.
ley lines.
Yeah.
And then there's magi who are just super powerful magic users
Gotcha.
all the time.
Just making sure I knew what you were talking about. So.
So it sets up like again, like I said, you come out from Castle Refuge and there's a cliff pretty much like it goes down. You have to go down a mountain, kind of like Iron Forgy, like that. So it just the long ship parks against that, and the two starships come up and turn around. So they're facing out, like for any threats that would come and attack the castle or this entourage. Several magus come in. They get comfortable. You know, helmets come off. Some of the armor disappears on them, and they're wearing super like crazy magical finery. And they're all different races. There's some that are humans. There's some that are DBs from places unknown. There's one that has 4 arms. You think you don't see actually any arms. You just kind of see the cloaks or their clothing go down, the robes go over where arms would be, and then kind of gloved hands or independent hands are at the ends of them. So they may be completely magical entities inside that just use clothing to define them into a humanoid shape. They come in and talk to you, and like, you know, again, they apologize like hardcore, like that they couldn't get an emissary out here. That Dormer is super secretive. They hide themselves,
Beethoven's mad, but we're all good.
but that they couldn't
This
get someone out here to
fucking
help you against the
I
city
don't
of Brass
trust these
earlier.
fucks.
But
He's like, are they
Hearing-
shenanigans? No, we're friends.
hearing that you're having Splugorth problems, they offer a torch. They go, I know that the Splugorth are steeped in stolen magics. They use biowizardry, a terrible abomination of magic, to give themselves the powers of magic, to steal it from the universe. They, you know, essentially use chemistry and biology and vicissitude to steal magic from living beings.
I feel like you can do a lot of havoc with chemical spells.
Like
Insane.
biowizards are terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have
It's not an OOC, is it? It is, really?
yeah, it's from Atlantis.
Biowizard?
It's from Atlantis. Biowizards.
I would like to look at that later.
There's Atlantis and there's I think England. The England source book, which I have over there, also has them.
I don't do the
They
England
are
book. I didn't see that book.
Terrifying.
Sorry.
They actually have a plague for dragons. Like they just have this thing like, oh, we're fighting a dragon. Oh, it's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Like.
We're gonna have to call this episode Distraction City.
Right.
Like we've talked. We have so much cross talking.
This is like
It's been fun. I'm gonna get that cross
we like, as I've said, we are enemy number 1 of Lord Dunson. We are going to try to find out his involvement in the recent assaults against you.
Mm-hmm.
He has many enemies inside his own city, so it could have been an independent effort to try to take this castle. If it was Lord Dunson's order himself, then you guys have a lot more to worry about than just Splugorth. We will.
And Dunstan's the guy that sent the shifter. Right?
You don't know.
Okay.
So Dunson is the leader
he's
of the
head
True
of the
Federation
True
of Magic.
No, I got it.
He is enemy number one of everyone. So there's Emperor Karl Prosek is the head of the coalition. Lord Dunson is the head of the True Federation of Magic, and they're the two probably most evil people on the planet. And they hate each other, which is good, but they also hate everything that's not under their control.
Gotcha.
So, if the shifter that attacked you was under Dunson's command, that means you're going to face more. Like, they're going to keep sending it. If the shifter that attacked you was a splinter group that was trying to usurp Lord Dunson, then you're probably safe for a while.
So how do we figure this out?
They're going to send their agents in to the city of Brass. They already have spies in there, and they're going to try to find that out for you.
All right.
So they're going to try to help you out there. They're going to send Magi to help you. They're going to send they're going to start opening trade with you. This is their offer, at least. They're going to open trade to you. All citizens of Castle Refuge will be able to find and approach Dwarmer, which normally is impossible. It's hidden. But right now, as you have just explained your Splugorth problem, she calls forward a Magi and takes something, like the Magi pulls something out of their own belt, their stash. It's a long rod of copper lined with some other material or metal. It kind of looks like maybe like a gallium, a really weird liquidy feel or look to it. And it seems to swirl inside of it, and there's runes all around it. And they hand that over, and Shawnee reaches over to take it because you guys aren't magical.
Plus, I already have a long rod.
Giggity. She takes it.
Don't want my neural
And
mates.
it's-
Don't be perverted.
It is a rod of nullification. It can protect people from spells. It makes it really hard to affect them with spells, but it can also dispel things almost on command, like invisibility on the barge and things like that. It can turn the tide for a team going up against the biowizardry.
Is it a contact item or is it a casting item?
It's a contact item for some of its abilities, but the dispel is arranged.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just like she got her wings dispelled in the air, this thing could, she could be up on the ridge and dispel the invisibility on the barge. And she gives you this to show a show of good faith towards a continued alliance between Dwarmer and Castle Refuge.
All right. What do you want to do next? Do you want to? So it sounds ridiculous. We've done our part. It sounds like we got more to do if we want to go on and fight the barges or whatever. But we can also send them to do that while we go do our old mission. If you're done fighting Splugorth, we can be done
I
fighting
would
Splugorth.
say I would talk to them and see if they're. I don't know that they're saying they're willing to go deal with the Splugorth.
They're willing to help.
Willing to
What
give
they
us
had,
that rod
but-
and maybe help.
Well, it doesn't have to be us. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, if you're done with Splugorth fights, because I'll fight
That-
Splugorth all
yeah.
day. But
That is the thing. If you guys want to stay and if you guys want to move to Kansas and move to the next leg of the campaign, I'm all for it. You guys can do it right now. I'll write out what happens to Splugorth on its own. If you guys choose to stay and face the Splugorth one more time, your mission is kill one more barge.
I'm
they're-
down for that. We've done it once.
They're
We
being
can do it
very
again.
protective of their barges now, and now they have hunter-killer teams coming out to kill teams just like you, specifically. So it's going to be much harder to find a barge, let alone down one. So if you want to have 3 more sessions of a fight with Splugorth barge for an epic battle to try to get these guys out of here, now that you have this rod of nullification and all that fun stuff, let's fucking do it. Let's show down.
I feel like at this point, it might actually benefit Castle Refuge if we don't go to the next leg of Splugorth fight. because they're building, like you said, they're building forces to fight a Glitter Boy, Dog Boy, Atlantean, and intelligent armor.
So you think it would be best that we don't participate in the...
I think, if you want my honest opinion, I would love to go out and shoot some more Splugor. I think what they're doing is wrong. I think we have something to do with that a little bit. We're tied up into the battle. We have help now. We can definitely go do it. I'm down to do it. But I also think that it might help the battle if we keep changing the means of engagement. Like last time it was a Glitter Boy and a Dog Boy in power armor. This time it's just like magic, or next time it's just artillery mixed with
Coda and a Burster and
like we just keep changing it up. So
Honeycomb.
We show them that diversity is our weapon, and we don't wash our hands clean, but we help Castle Refuge out by not engaging a second barge ourselves.
Oh, makes a lot of sense.
Hello, Hellfire Orange 1. Hellfire Orange. Welcome to the stream.
What's up, man?
Kind of got us at a weird lull in the action.
We've destroyed a slaver barge and have been confronted with new friends that would assist us in fighting another barge, but we're trying to decide whether or not letting the town that we're aligned with, the League of Tomorrow, deal with
Legion.
a different
Tomorrow
Legion, excuse me.
Tomorrow League.
Tomorrow
Legion
Legion.
of Tomorrow.
Whatever. Letting the Legion of Tomorrow decide to fight it differently. Oh, sorry, Tomorrow Legion. The Tomorrow Legion. Continued to send different things. So the last battle was us, obviously, against the slave barge. So it was a Glitter Boy power armor, an Atlantean casting...
Undead Tattooed Woman. Undead Slayer.
And then we've got a power armored Dog Boy. We were effective, but if we do it again, they'll build their responses based on their last battle. So it'll be harder for us. Their hunting and killing teams will be aimed at mobile artillery, Dog Boy. Like they know how we did it last time. So we're trying to discuss whether or not it's advantageous to our clan or our group to move on or remain and fight.
Don't know how much you know about Rifts or Savage Worlds and their version of Rifts, but it's a sci-fi fantasy game set in a post-apocalyptic world that's been rebuilt with magic and monsters and power armors and high technology. Ah, yes. So we are playing Dungeons and Dragons on Wednesdays. So if you come back tomorrow, there's a countdown underneath the stream. Once we're done with this session tonight, it'll start counting down to tomorrow, but it's we start at 9 p.m. Arizona time, and that is a straight D&D game. They've just hit 3rd level, and these two guys have never played D&D before, so I'm teaching them as we go along.
It's pure vanilla 20 dice D&D.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Savage Worlds.
Aim it like this.
Yeah.
Turn it down a little.
I found that the let's turn this down. But it's Savage Worlds Rifts. It's
Seriously, aim it down a little bit. Other way.
Yeah.
Other way.
Look at that.
Oh, you're getting it. You're getting it.
Savage Worlds Rifts. It is D&D, but it's also got power armor and robots and missiles and lasers. Because of how they set up the world. It was just this crazy mismatch of everything. Everything comes here into the Rifts world. They come through magical rifts. And it was a cyber world that fell and then rebuilt itself. It's pretty crazy. You should definitely look it up. It's a fun world. But D&D is tomorrow night if you want to tune in for that as well. Right now, we're at a point where they have chosen to take a side mission in our campaign. They finished they're on their...
I'm talking about this or...
Yeah, they're talking about this. So we're now in our completion of our 2nd campaign.
I should close the fridge.
They have finished 2 legs of this campaign, and they have a choice of moving on to the next story that I've written, or staying behind and having these kind of battles, a tactical battle situation with an invading force. So that's what they're deciding right now. With the arrival of Dwarmer, I'm giving you the option again. Oh damn! See,
What did you say?
you said the stream is laggy. My stream health says 100%, but we have been having problems
Do it
lately.
real quick. Recycle like you did last time. It ended up fixing everything, didn't it?
It did, but it's not showing that we're having an issue. Like right now, it's locked at 60 FPS.
I still use the internet to look at cat videos, so I'm not the person to ask about how to
Real
fix it.
quick, let's see. Oh shit, I forgot I had this on.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Sorry, Flame Guy, we're checking the stream for us.
Hellfire Orange.
Hellfire and Orange. Tangerine Hypothesis.
Is it lagging? Yeah.
No, that was very similar to us.
Possibly some lag when you're in, but we have also had problems before. Sorry that it's laggy.
Thanks for watching despite lag.
Yeah.
All right, so I think
here's the choice. If you leave, Dwarmer will come in and aid, and then I'll write out what happens with the Splugorth. If you stay, you're gonna do another couple fights, and it's gonna be like last session, like the last 3 sessions. It's gonna be super long, tactical, knockdown, drag out fights with these Splugorth.
I'm down for both. I had a lot of fun almost dying a bunch.
Yeah.
I have to say though, honestly, your explanation on why we shouldn't be the next ones to do anything.
Or we could test our metal against that reason.
But as a tactics person, that is tactically sound. The fact to give them something else to fight against than what they just witnessed and got used to. They'll be a little oh fuck, we didn't prepare for this. So it makes sense that we maybe should not be the next ones.
If Iggy showed up next time, that would have been devastatingly different. Yeah. First off, that rain was.
But this is also it's one thing to sit a fight out. It's another thing to leave the area entirely and not be there as backup or to help.
I don't know. That's my only kind of whole we already chose to kind of do this side mission.
Also,
so now we're saying we did part of it, and we're well, we got these women back. That's what you wanted us to do. So now you just kind of deal with it.
Now, the other thing I'll say is that if you guys want to get to the next, if you want to go find Praxis, if that's what you guys want to do, we will just I'll just narrate the final battles with the Splugorth. We'll talk it out. You could be there. You're just not going to gain experience from it because we're going to talk it through. And then you guys move on to the next part of the campaign. So, really the question is, do you want to have possibly six more sessions of battles against Splugorth minions and have that real tactical gameplay, or do you guys want to head to Kansas and do the murder mystery and try to find out what's going on in Kansas and find out where Praxis is?
They both sound great to me. But you're the tactical leader. You're James is new to the party. He's going to defer to beats no matter what. So, you walked in and you guys literally walked into Capital Refuge, put your nothing on the table, and within 2 battles, I was working for you. So I got a lot of respect for you. I'm going to listen to what you say. So.
Yeah. We play all kinds of games. On stream, we only played D&D and the Savage Rifts game, but outside of that, we also have played Shadowrun. We've played Dark Sun for a hot minute.
Yeah.
We played a
Firefly.
We had a lot of fun with Fireflies.
Yeah.
Captain.
We teased a Mass Effect art.
We
RPG.
did.
I have the notes right here
didn't
for
have
my
those.
character.
We didn't play.
I tried to use a weird system. It wasn't a very good system for it.
We don't stream other things too. We played Pandemic Legacy for a long time. And
as you can see back there behind these guys is my library of books. There's the Death Watch RPG. There's Star Wars RPGs.
I wanted to do this for a bit anyway on the stream, and I'll put it right back. But...
It's tied in. It's bolted in.
No. I got it.
Okay.
We're gonna.
All right. So he's gonna show you the Wizard Library. So there's all of this over here, all of these games.
But then also
3 bookshelves.
Over here are games and miniatures that wrap around.
Yep.
It's a little silly that we're not silly, but like insane, like how much.
And I still have games in boxes. Like I'm still not completely moved in. A little bit more.
A little bit more other way.
I have played Magic the Gathering. I played
more.
it Black Border when it first came
There
out.
you go.
I played pretty heavily until probably like the first con I went to, and then I sold all my cards and got out of it. Then I got back into it years later, and then I got back out of it again.
I judge it based on the space between my beer and the edge
No,
of
I
the
currently,
once you were like more, I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, the beer.
Now, interestingly enough, somewhere I have Planeswalker, which was the game that it's a huge box set, and it's the game that Wizards of the Coast put out when they were still independent and they didn't own D&D. It was their own role playing game, and it used tarot cards to determine success or failure.
Plus, he's got some crazy stuff. Like this
Metal with a magnetized
like,
key.
crazy, ridiculous. Where's the key?
Oh, on that side. Yeah, it's literally magnetized on there. It'll pop off. Yeah.
Yeah, like what the heck? Spookworth.
Hey, sorry about that. Hellfire Orange.
Like I said, I'm super down for both. I had a lot of fun with like
Yeah,
whole
had a
segments
little
of-
interruption there. Sorry. But we're back. I love the combat. I love the tactical, but it does take a long time, and these foes are super hard and like super challenging. And I'm not saying that you're not up to it. I'm saying that it takes a long time. There's a lot of stuff to do. I like the role playing stuff. I'd like to see you go back to Kansas. That was where we started when you guys first started role playing, and that's kind of where I've been gearing all this to go to.
I definitely want to get there, but it's hard for me to just walk away since we decided to tell Castle Refuge that we're going to help take care of this Flugor situation, and then just after one mission be like, oh.
No, you don't have to leave after one mission. You
We
just
did
have
our
to tell
part.
me that you don't want to actually, like, we'll narrate the Splugorth invasion.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to fight Splugorth or do you want to move on us? Because we're still going to assist. He said, you're going to write a story like, hey, this is what we did, blah, 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 blah. But you and I right now will move towards Kansas. We'll gloss that part. He'll recap next session.
I'll recap right now. It's only 8:48. I'll tell you how the Splugorth campaign ends. I mean, it's kind of already foregone conclusion that you guys are going to take out another barge eventually.
Do you want to play the barge?
But do you want to play it, or do you want me to just talk through what happens?
I guess let's do the talk through.
Okay. So you
Sure,
can get
you're the boss. I don't want to pressure you at all.
No, because I still like the sound of the whole, like, well, let's send a different team at them and see. At the very least, I think that's what we would do initially. Send a different team to destroy another barge so they would not be prepared for the Glitter Boy, Shawnee, Dog Boy Power Armor,
Like send some
Sugar Sisters, Jimbo.
like a Burster and some Samus and maybe like
a
a
Leyline Walker
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Send some different crap at them. And then, I mean, your story will tell otherwise. Like, if we had to intervene eventually,
Eventually, you do have to intervene. So
we're better than everyone.
You're the main characters. You're the heroes.
We're big damn heroes.
We are definitely.
You get a plus
So
3
what
to that
occurs-
roll.
at Castle Refuge is-
Plus 7. We did it.
Dormer does send Magi. Magi come in, they help out. They send some of their techno-wizards as well, and their techno-wizard creations, their vehicles, their weapons, and start trade with you guys, because you guys have things that Dormer needs and all that stuff. But the main thing that they do also send is 2 of their power armors. And their power armors, their robots, their giant robots, are magical constructs. These are essentially golems that these magi called controllers link with and become part of these things, and they are beasts. So one of the magi controllers and their golem goes out with Burster, Coda, and Honeycomb. And they bait in one of the hunter-killer teams, and it's the other equestrian power armor that comes after them.
Those things are nothing.
The Honeycomb dies during that encounter.
No.
Sacrificing himself to slam into the equestrian, stop it from doing its thing, and help out the other ones, and they drive the equestrian off. During this, though, a slave barge attacks another town, and with the help of you guys to go out with a ley line walker and some other support, you're managed to peel off its invisibility with the new null rod that Shawnee has. You catch it before a slave raid, so it doesn't have any prisoners in cages or anything like that.
So we don't have to save any Alterians.
So you can just start popping at, and you can save the Alterians if you want to, but you go after it. You pop the shield off, you get that slaver off of it, and you can drive it out. Eventually, after 2 or 3 engagements, you take out the second barge. And they try one last push to try to grab as much as they can. They throw 3 barges at different towns at the same time. And when you guys come out to try to protect one, something really bad happens. Something attacks Shawnee that and you've never heard her terrified before, but she is terrified of this thing. And it jumps her specifically while you guys are up doing your thing and almost kills her. This thing is in all black. It looks kind of very alienish. They seem perfectly intent and trained to kill Atlanteans. And she seems terrified of it. You jump down to save her. And in your fight with it, with your vibro claws, you smash through its helmet, and you get a glimpse of what's underneath, and there's a person underneath. Looks human, has a tattoo of an eye on its head, and a teardrop coming down with thorns coming out of it underneath its eye.
It's like Mindy. Just kidding. I said Mindy earlier. Nothing. I said Mindy earlier, and he's like, no.
And
throw her name back in later.
Shawnee seems very taken aback by that, because the second after its helmet comes peeled off and you see that, you get it on your camera and everything, it does something which disintegrates itself. And she is shook. She's shook by this situation. And she'll tell you later on that these are Sunaj assassins, which are monsters which specifically hunt Atlanteans. But what you saw when you peeled that off, which no one has ever done before, no one's ever seen them outside of their armor, they all thought they were a monstrous alien race that just hated the Atlanteans for some reason. What you saw was an Atlantean. But there's an Atlantean in those armors. Maybe it was a trick, maybe it was a deception, but maybe there's something more to it. But she's not happy about that situation at all. And she kind of a little bit a different person after that, much more cautious and much more morbid, just kind of laconic almost, I should say.
Well, it's sad to find out that your enemies come from your own family. That would be something jarring.
But eventually, through attrition, you guys do take a lot of casualties amongst the Legionnaires, the Tomorrow Legionnaires. The resources are stretched even thinner from Castle Refuge. You do destroy a second barge. You destroy the second equestrian power armor. Several of the Katani Serpentines, and you finally drive them out and are able to get a shifter from Dwarmer to go and sneak up behind the rift as they're leaving it and shut it.
Like they took the Dwarmer shifter and he was able to go and fuck himself. Oh, that's
He's
I know they're on our side, but like
he's
fuck
specifically an
I got it.
exorcist, so he's there to banish and close rifts. So he's able to close the rift in the Devil Hills and finally end the Splinkrith invasion point. But Castle Refuge cannot take another invasion. So Dwarmer has positioned itself to try to protect it from any more machinations of the City of Brass. It's sending its spies and saboteurs in to try to keep it off the radar. Honey, with the help of others, has gone off to the East Coast to see about Titan Industries and the Shemarian army, or the Shemarian race, and to deal with that. Laszlo has sent relief and aid down, and Lord Coke returns just as you guys are about to depart to Kansas to stay around and protect, as he was off in England for a while doing something. But when he arrives, he will talk to you about Praxis. He says that Praxis served under... Oh my god, I have to pull out some old notes.
What do you call them? Practice.
Praxis. So, your character's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Vernon's mom, right?
No.
Oh.
His mom was Praxis's mentor.
God, what did I name?
It's a weird way to say bitch.
No. His old character. His Borg.
Oh. I forgot you even had one character.
I mean, I've only had 2 characters in 2 games. You've had 3 in 2 games.
Fuck you. That was the worst. You're like, you failed horribly. You get to Blaze of Glory, or you're dead. What is this?
I was just trying to see if that was silver or
Oh,
old.
that is it. That's it. I thought I had another sheet for him. This is... No, this is his because he's seasoned here and he's already green. I just got to read the flame and improved burst.
I remember Elks Lodge and all that stuff, but I can't remember like the name.
Yeah, of your character.
Jax.
Well, his name was Jax, but his last name was
I'm the bitch.
something else. So
It's Russian, right? It's not Jax, I'm a bitch.
So you guys, he tells you about her, that Praxis is from another world.
Beat in the face.
That
Might have been a
Lord Coke trained Praxis's mentor, and Praxis's mentor is from Kansas. She went back, like after the Battle of Tolkien and the failure there, she went back to visit her sister to see if she was okay there in Kansas, and didn't return. And Praxis was in Castle Refuge after Lord Coke brought the remnants of the Cyber Knights and the refugees of Tolkien there. So they decided to, and Praxis decided to go find his mentor and see what was going on. The other thing that Elval says is that there's been unusual reports from coalition activity, and they know that Wichita City is a trade route, or is a supply route between Lone Star and CS Missouri. So it's kind of important, but a mercenary band controls Wichita City. So there's lots of raids and things like that on the land trains that go through Wichita from the coalition.
Mm-hmm.
But lately there's been a lot of coalition activity up in Missouri pushing west. So they want to see if the situation has changed in Kansas at all. So your mission, if you should choose to accept it,
Damn it.
is to head into Kansas. Find out what the situation in Wichita is. Do not engage the mercenaries or anything there. Just find out what's going on. Dodge City, though, is probably a starting point of where you can find information for the area, as it has been known to be fairly neutral survival community, or survivors community.
So, which one do?
Are we going to Dodge City?
Sure.
Sorry, I thought you kind of said that's kind of the start point. So
Yeah, and Wichita is before Dodge. If you want to head to Wichita, or check out Wichita first.
This was like, we either go straight to Dodge.
Wichita is avoid the mercenaries, but
Avoid the mercenaries, but find out what's going on there.
we're not really a team
It's a
that
side
avoids
mission,
stuff
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, like they do want you to scout out Wichita because of the situation, the mercenary coalition situation there.
I just don't like the fact they told us to avoid them.
They didn't tell you to avoid them. They say, like, the mercenaries aren't your enemies, but they're not going to see you as allies. That's mainly what it's about. So don't get caught up in a conflict with these mercenaries in Kansas, but find out what they are doing, what's going on in Wichita, and if the coalition has a presence there.
Oh, and I guess if we're gonna hit Wichita first, we might as well check things out.
How are we traveling? Are we foot, carriage?
So you two are in power armors. You can
So we're doing it like
just
jog.
chink, 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 chink. I mean, you run it 60 miles an hour or something like that. You have something about that. With the influx of things from Dwarmer, Shawnee gets a Techno-Wizard vehicle that she can ride. It's essentially a little hover cycle thing that she can power with her magic. And
Control stick.
no,
Is it like-
not like that. Not like that. And you can move on from. So she has a vehicle, and you guys can both run. If you want, you can have a larger vehicle driven by drone behind you with gear and stuff. If you want, like,
I want to get out of the glitter boy and not ride it on the way there.
right, and have somewhere else to stay. If you want to have a surplus of ammo, otherwise you're only going to have what ammo these people are carrying on their vehicles, plus what you can carry additionally. You're going into a situation where you're not going to get like the free. Yeah, it's Thorpe. I'm sorry, Dame Thorpe. So Dame Thorpe is Praxis's mentor. Thorpe was
That's right.
Coke's mentor, and Thorpe went back to Kansas to see her sister.
I've only got one clip worth of ammo.
They can lock on an additional 20 rounds of reserve to your power armor. Each of these people can also carry 20 rounds of reserve on their vehicles, on their power armors. They can also, with Shawnee's vehicle, put in essentially like 2 wounds of repairs to your power armor, to the glitter boy. Extra chromium, some plating, and things like that to carry around, so you can repair your own armor. Otherwise, you have to find a place that's going to help repair it.
So the question is, are we going to stop in Wichita or do we move on to Dodge? You want to stop in Wichita and take a look, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
You absolutely should stop in Wichita before.
Let's stop and take a look. See what's going on.
Alright.
Meet the locals. Shoot some things.
Only if you have to.
So you guys head up through the Ozarks, up into Kansas, and then it gets, once you pass the Ozarks, it gets real flat and really open. You guys are getting into summer, I guess. It's spring turning into summer. Large, wide open plains of grass and all that kind of fun stuff. Since you guys are kind of coming from is it direct west of Kansas, or is it south?
Where were we
West.
starting? Sorry.
You're starting in Arkansas.
It would be northwest. Just
Yeah,
a little
so-
north, but still pretty west. No, sorry. It'd be like 4 hours north. It's almost like directly north.
Missouri is north.
Yeah.
Kansas is west of Missouri.
Yeah, so it'd be northwest, but
Northwest,
a lot
yeah.
more north than it would be.
I mean, just to get in, but you're trying to get to Wichita and you're trying to get into Dodge City, which is on the...
Yeah, it's exactly northwest.
Yeah. So as you're heading up...
We would cut
and,
the tip of Oklahoma if we went through.
Giggity.
Yeah.
Just the tip. So as you guys are heading northwest through the landscape, there's your normal stuff going on. There's some bandits, there's some raiders, there's some DBs. You guys are veteran enough. Yeah, get yourself an entire load of gear and your stash up. Again, you have your 100 rounds plus 60 in reserves, and 2 wounds worth of repair for your armor as gear. Since you've played out the rest of the campaign, Shawnee still has the null rod. That is hers now to keep. So she has that thing. It's pretty badass.
I kept my neural mace from the last thing, so okay.
Yeah. You guys also have 1 million more credits, that you haven't. You have 1 million credits more than whatever you last wrote down between your repairs, refits, and everything, and your payments for the Splugworth. So, coming from the southeast, heading up this way. I wish I could find my old notes. You see that the place flattens out. You've dealt with through the Ozarks and getting up into Kansas through a little bit of what did you say you cut Oklahoma?
Just a tip of it, yeah.
Bandits, some DBs, some here and there. You guys easily deal with or avoid or slaughter depending on your productivity. You get to an area in Kansas that starts to become a pretty desolate, burnt out land. You're walking through fields of grass and weeds and stuff, and then it's just scorched earth as far as the eye can see. There's clouds constantly over this area. You see weird orange lightning strikes and things like that.
Kansas is pretty volcanic this time of year.
I should say, as primers to this, you're told that Kansas is fairly tame on the magic scale.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many. There's a couple major ley lines, but not many minor ones. There's only a couple established nexus.
I was going to say, there's at least 2 that we know.
Nexus points, but they are really well, established, and then people are around them. The 2 weird phenomena they have are random spouts of leyline energy. A nexus will just kind of essentially appear out of nowhere there.
We have Lay Storm, too?
Well, storms happen, but the other one is the ley fonts. The
That's
fonts
what it was.
are permanent.
Yeah.
Permanent, geysers of ley energy.
That's what the Kansas College was researching in our original game, right? It was
So
ley
spouts
fonts.
are temporary. Spouts are like storms.
Mm-hmm.
fonts are permanent. They just sit there and they just act like a nexus without any ley lines going next to them, and that's where people normally, like, you know, ley line walkers and techno wizards make their homes and stuff like that. But this, you have no idea what this is. It goes on for as far as you can see into the horizon. Just this brown, you know, blackened earth, essentially, almost reddish dirt, scorched. Lightning strikes, like random little storms and dust devils picking up. You can try to go around it. You see from where you're coming that there's obviously, you know, there's like clear skies here, clear skies there, and then this hellish landscape before you. You can try to go around it, but you don't know how long this goes for. You can try going north until its end, or you can try going west till its end. Or go through it.
I was going to say, this looks like what we were looking for. As much as I don't want to, I think taking the scorched path will take us right to what we're looking for. Before we even get to Wichita, we could always... I mean, do you want to finish the trip to Wichita and then come back to this scorched area, or... I feel like we're already kind of... Well... I don't want our first foray into Wichita to be, like, damaged and seeking assistance. Hey, guys, how you doing? I want to help her doctor.
Yeah, I feel like we should avoid this, at least for now. Just because we don't have any idea, like...
We can always ask about it in town.
Exactly. Like, we find a town when we find a
Wichita.
town.
So,
Let's head to Wichita. We'll ignore the scorched area.
so Wichita is here. You were heading up, and you see this scorched land ahead of you. Do you head north and then like hope it ends, and then head west to Wichita, or do you head west and then hope you can go north to Wichita?
I'm of the opinion we should just head west, because the farther north we get, the closer to the Zytitic we get.
Oh, north Zytikic or
Oh, I know where they're at.
Canada.
I also don't like them.
You don't know. You've never encountered Zytikic.
That's true, but he's hurt. That's what I'm saying. Neither had Vernon. He was terrified of him. That was the point. I only know scary stories about Zytitic.
And you know that they're way far away.
Yeah.
Instinctively, though. Also, was going to suggest west, so
Alright.
let's go west and around if possible.
So, you head west at the border of this Badlands. And it goes on for quite some time. Make me notice checks.
Poof your notice checks.
I don't think I've rolled all night.
Yep.
Ooh. 8.
So, 8.
7 over here.
8 and 7, and you got your +2 in there.
Oh, that'd be a
And you
10.
got your +2 from your
So
sensors.
9 and 10. So we notice a little bit extra. Although we notice fairly well. I'm gonna run off one more time because we're getting close.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little break here
We'll be right back.
as well. Yeah, we'll be right back, and then we'll start the action.
Andy! Andy! Bandy! 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 Bandily! Come here, girl. What you know about life? Hey. Oh, you're not supposed to turn with Bandy. Bandolier. Hey. Come on.
8.
Shit. Oh, you get back first.
Slopey and Mitch.
Oh, whatever. No, still not friends.
I've known her for a long time. She's still not my friend all that much.
Yeah. Some animals are just that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had Sterling for 4 years, and she still only lets Taylor and me see her. Like, no one else gets to be anywhere near. The only way you guys ever even saw her was we walked into the office. She was trying to hide in there, you know. That's the only way we got to see
You
her.
can go, Sterling.
Yeah. Move aside. Oh, no, baby.
Just sure. I hope Hellfire Orange tunes in for D&D tomorrow. I think Rifts is a tough starting spot.
Yeah.
He's back. Alright. So you guys are skirting the southern ridge of this hellish landscape to the north, which is just desolate land, with crazy little storms and pox and lightning and all this kind of crazy stuff. When you looking north and you're heading, skirting this while you're still in normal land, you see that there's a whole bunch of like storm activity going on. There's whirlwinds and dust devils and lightning strikes and all this stuff. And you're like watching, you're like, wow, I'm glad we didn't go in there. And then you look to the right, and there's like a plume of smoke. And it's like small in the west and larger going towards the east. And you realize that there's vehicles driving towards that big storm. Like a whole horde, a whole mess of vehicles.
Yeah.
Just like going as fast as they can over that desolate plain, Mad Max style. Towards that storm thing in the middle of that Badlands.
Do they look like Mad Maxy type vehicles, or?
From what you can see at this range, they definitely don't look like they came off the assembly line yesterday.
And plus, it's been a long time since the Golden Age. Everything is kind of wrecked looking.
Yeah.
We look like Mad Max.
They look. There's also some like flying things around them and like kite-like things and people attached on boards or flying like hoverboards or not flying hoverboards but wing boards and things like that attached to the vehicles as they're just like whipping and going into this thing or going towards this thing.
So we'll be able to just continue.
Absolutely. You can just keep going.
I
You see that the people, the little group of vehicles enters the storm. Just as they're about to enter the storm, you see a whole bunch of like really long poles and wires come up, and almost like they're trying to attract the lightning. And they kind of disappear into the swirl and dust of everything, but then you see the lightning activity jumps up. And you kind of get little reflections and quick shadow bursts of these vehicles in the storm as they're trying to attract this lightning for some reason.
The lightning activity was Dayton's nickname too. Doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna skirt past what we're seeing happening.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a lot of them, a lot of those vehicles, I don't know that we just want to be like, oh, hello, we're strangers in a strange land.
So keep going.
Hopefully you're friendly. I think so.
So after another like hour of travel, hoofing it down along this line, you see that the storm kind of disperses, and that group of vehicles kind of like comes out of that storm, and you see that they're like electrified with that lightning. Like their vehicles are all coursing with it. It's going up and down the tow cables to the wing boards and the other things that they're doing. The poles and stuff they have up are doing all that kind of stuff. And after a while, they, like, up to the north, they taper off from where you are. They seem to circle and stop. And stuff starts happening. Like, almost looks like they're setting up camp or something up there.
Keep on going.
You can keep on going, or you can head out there. You can even, like, you're within view of these things. You can try scanning through channels and seeing if you can communicate with these people, if they are on radio.
Oh, fuck it, let's do that.
Check you guys out? No. Now you found your camp. You check them out? No. You see the
And
road, you see the road that leads to their, you see the road that leads to their camp.
You can just
No.
keep moving on if you want.
No, let's check their radio and see if...
You do find...
They're gnomes.
Nope. You do find a radio channel that is got some chatter on it. It sounds like techno speak, and in a dialect that's also pretty rustic. Like, y'all get those tillage coming up and this and that. Hey, you contain that white juice there over there, and blah blah, and just back and forth over the radios of some fairly
Dayton, contain your white juice.
southern folk. Yep.
James, it sounds like you should try to speak with him.
Yeah, I can talk to him. What does it sound like they're doing?
There's like it almost.
I'm asking him.
Oh yeah, so you're not listening in yourself?
No, I'm listening, I guess. And do we want to contact these guys and see if we can help them or whatever, or do you want to mosey on down to?
I mean, you are a glitter boy, friend of the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like point that out. Like most people aren't afraid to see glitter boys, and if they are, they're doing something bad. Not that you want to get into conflicts. Squeeze its butt.
He just wanted to make you do that.
Yeah. You're just not doing it right.
You don't know how to squeeze a duck's butt correctly.
Alright. Yeah, let's make some communicate. Any help, I guess.
Well, you heard the way they're talking, right?
They're doing something. It's on
Yep.
technical speak.
Ain't no chatter on the line. I don't think that's one of us. Oh, hey. Hey there, stranger. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just passing through. You guys doing all right out here?
They sound hick and technical like you. That's why I was like, you should talk to them.
And you're talking to the Tabby Tinker clan out here in the Faraday Fields. Welcome to Kansas.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Where are you at? You're not out in the fields, right? You got some crazy lightning strikes out here today.
We're seeing your storm from a distance. Was wondering if you were in need of assistance.
Nope. We captured all that lightning. Good harvest for us.
Ooh, we're heading on our way to Wichita. You guys heading with us?
Well, Wichita is north, fella. You gotta head to the Faraday Fields if you want that. We can try to guide you through there.
That sounds good because I know what Faraday means, and I would like some help through that.
What were these guys called?
The Tabby Tinker clan.
Tabby Tinker,
Yep, Tabby Tinker.
like Tabby.
Correct.
Okay.
And then for Faraday Field, you can just write electric area.
Do you guys not remember going to the Faraday Fields?
I very barely remember the
You
name.
took these techno wizards up into Wichita with you.
Oh, I went by myself, dude. That was when we separated.
No, they
from
all
there?
went.
Oh, is that
But
right?
one went to. These guys went to the orchards. You went to the
Oh,
to Wichita.
that's
But it was all about these
right.
Mad Max people that chase the ley line
that's
storms.
Right.
I don't remember these
The
guys
Faraday
at all,
Fields. Yeah, you know,
or the like name of those fields. Like I remember the name, but not the like.
You remember Faraday, but not Tabby Tinker.
Yeah.
not these guys. No, this is a different clan. So you guys came in from the northwest last time. Now coming in from the south.
All right, so we'll accept their guidance.
All right, so you head in. Like a couple vehicles come out to meet you, but the moment that everyone sees it's a glitter boy, like a ton of women and children and young adults come out, like to ooh and ah over the fact that there's a glitter boy walking into this camp.
Flex.
But like they're like literally using things. Like you see one guy has these weird gloves on, and you see one of the poles has lightning, and he is literally grabbing the lightning off of the pole and wrangling it over to a tank and putting it into there, like super techno wizardy style. Like,
Yeah.
gotta watch that, woo! And they're like, you know, standing around like they're a bunch of ranchers watching someone deal with a buck, you know, like. Oh, and like, you know, one kid tries to go, let me try. And he goes up with his gloves and he gets like fucking thrown up and slammed down and zapped, and everyone laughs and ha 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 ha. And as they're trying to they're like peeling lightning off of their collectors. And put their stuff in that. And they take you to this camp, and it's like exactly like Mad Max Rancher camp of techno wizards.
They sound like fun techno wizards versus the ones I know.
I'm like, welcome to the Tabby Tinkers. I'm Tammy. Welcome
Better
aboard.
know than Dog Boys, I know. 100% of Dog Boys I've met are assholes.
What y'all doing out these parts?
We're making our way to Wichita. We got some business out there with
Wichita or Dodge?
Dodge. Sorry, we're on our way to Dodge.
But you want to check Wichita first.
We're making our way through Wichita on the way to Dodge. We have business in Dodge, but we want to make sure that Wichita is looking good, doing good, having a good time.
Well, you got business with the Ironworkers Union?
No. Do they need business?
Oh, the Ironworkers Union, they run Wichita. That's probably the mercenary group that they're talking about. Yeah, we haven't been up to them parts lately. We namely deal with Dodge.
What's the situation in Wichita like these days?
No idea. Just know that witches are everywhere these days.
I do say that. I don't know like witches.
You fought a witchling before.
I did. I didn't like it. I fought a roller coaster. So I think everything that's magic is like, no.
Now, we can send some of our youngins to guide you up there, avoid some of that lightning, get you through the storms and such, if you guys want to get to Wichita.
I think that would be great, but we don't want to put any of your people in harm.
Oh,
Okay.
the only people in harm going is if you don't take us with you.
Well, let's do it. Can we leave tomorrow?
Well, you can leave anytime you want, really, and day and night doesn't matter here. These are the Faraday Fields. You got anything to, grease the palms a little bit?
Yeah.
Pay for these folks. We need all hands on deck to wrangle this lightning. Have a couple of our kids go off. Probably be, a couple hundred credits. A couple of them shells.
I've got
Some grenades.
I've got
what
some,
you got?
Some attribute up to trade and some plus persuade.
Yeah. You trade that.
No, I've got a neural mace I don't need anymore. They can probably use that, do something with it. They're techno wizard, they can wield it and use it, right? Yeah, so I'll give them to that. Doesn't make much know-how to nobody like me, so they can take that.
I can spare some credits.
Okay.
The only way they're getting grenades is if they're getting
Launch at them.
yeah.
Yep. So you make
I'll give
trade.
him,
I
give
don't
him-
say that to them, but
I'll give him 5 Glitter Boy shell. Just they might be able to use it.
Oh yeah, they can fucking eat that up.
Sugar, can you turn off the low ammo counter?
Did it come from your reserves? Or you take it right out of your.
Doesn't matter. I linked it to the reserve. That makes the low ammo counter start at 155.
You give them 5. They're like, shit. We'll give you a full banner escort.
There you go.
Like,
so do I even need to give him credits?
no. After if he's pumping out, like they don't even care about the metal mace at that point. If you're giving them 5 glitter boy shells, that's
I give
good.
them their own mace. It'll come in handy later, so it's better if I give it up now.
It might come in handy for you later on.
That's what I mean. It makes more sense to
You
give it
can
up now, so
forget
it'll probably
to give
come
it
in
up.
handy.
All right. So yeah, they take those shells and hands them off to an older one of the clan members that was like,
Whoopity-doo.
what
is
that? I'm gonna learn how to make these fly telekinetically.
Why not? Oh man, you're gonna make a Techno Wizard Glitter Boy boom gun? Hell yeah. Should have given him 15. But
They're gonna make a glitter boy, a Techno Wizard Glitter Boy hand cannon that holds one of those shells and just.
That sounds like a cool thing Techno Wizards can do.
I abandon James and become Vernon immediately. What? That's a thing. 5 shots only.
That's all they got until they can buy more.
You cannot buy more. They are fucking expensive.
Yep.
I shouldn't have given you 5, but
Yeah,
I like to help.
And they put a whole crew with you, a full kind of truck vehicle with some weaponry on it, a couple ATVs, 4-wheelers, and 1 wingboard to take you up north. And you can leave now. You can wait till morning if you want to hang out with them.
Let's fucking roll.
He's had enough of smelling magic.
Yeah, if you open
I've
up
flexed a
your
bunch. I've done a couple of feats of strength.
if you open up your
and
power
just,
armor here, you are immediately blinded.
Seeing the lightning and everything, I kind of understand this is hugely.
Something bad happened here that has left this place permanently marked by magic. Like this place is scarred.
They're having a good time.
I would hope I've been around enough, like at least ley lines and storms at this point to be like, this looks like I probably should have opened my shit.
Yeah.
It may not be exactly
almost
a ley
like-
line storm or anything, but like
Your
I've seen crap
hackles
like
are almost
this.
like already like rising, even in the environmentally sealed power armor. It feels like that bad out there. So you guys head north with your little escort. They're super excited to be leading you guys. They try to show off and drive out in front and do their little wheelies and all that stuff because their vehicles are much faster than running. But you see, like they spot a couple other apparently clans. There's several of these little tinker clans that run around out here and wrangle lightning. They avoid them or make contact depending, but generally you're not disturbed or stopped by anything. They tell you that while Kansas is low on magic, it's like magic like ley lines. It's high in the weird phenomenon, like the entirety of the Faraday fields,
Yeah.
the spouts and the fonts, the weird stone formations that happen here. But they said that in Dodge City there's an entire college of magic, so almost everything around here is powered by techno-wizardry, and the Faraday fields supply a lot of energy because it's pretty much pure magic out of the sky that they wrangle up, bottle, and sell. And people's farms, people's generators, vehicles, purely powered by magic from all of this stuff. It is like you can't tell day night out in the Faraday fields because it's dark clouds all the time and the weird orange lightning and they'll even say like you'll see heat lightning or like the orange lightning going through the clouds above you constantly and you're like at first like worried, but they'll tell you exactly like nope, this isn't ready to come down yet, it's not ripe enough. Is how they say it.
They live out here.
Yeah, like, and they'll say like, oh, like those clouds over there, those are ripe. Like you avoid those clouds, and then you'll see like the lightning strikes come down from over there.
This is where I would live if I lived in Rifts. Like if it was really me, it would be fucking Techno Wizard Faraday Fields all day, every day.
So can we say that we basically like learn these patterns from them as they tell us?
No, that's years. Oh, go
Yeah, like it's really tough, but you can start to figure like that feeling, like and that look. You'll start to get the signs. But it's like you said, years of just knowing.
You're a lot more perceptive than James is. Take make a intelligence check.
Like a smarts check?
Smarts check. Smarts.
Wow,
I'm
check.
getting like back, like because this game is based off of Deadlands originally. That's why it's like it's smarts, and the original was fighting and shooting. No G's on the end of those things, like back in the day.
Fighting and shooting.
With Wild.
With Wild.
Always. Boom! You learned nothing.
A 4.
Yeah, like it's still freaking you out.
You're so freaked out.
Like
I'm sure I would be the opposite. My glitter boy would look so.
Oh, it looks so awesome.
I'm doing this
shining,
a lot. Like,
shining in the orange. Like it's like pretty much like the red, earth, the black clouds reflecting in a perfect landscape on your armor, with highlighted by the orange lightning coming down. Oh, it's beautiful.
I keep saying boom, 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 boom.
So you guys head through, and you realize as you're getting to the edge of the Faraday Fields that it is night out. I mean, you have your chronometers, your timepieces inside. You realize that it's getting nighttime. He goes, "Yeah, Wichita, just mile up there. We'll take you all the way to the edge of the city. It touches right on the Faraday Fields." And you start to see the ruined city come into view at the edge of the Faraday Fields. Whatever happened down here in southern Wichita, it's amazing that you've been walking through this and able to see all the way to the horizon and see nothing but this desolation.
Kansas is pretty gnarly.
Yeah. But ahead is Wichita, probably the biggest city or used to be.
So I want to say, now that we've figured out where it's at, we shouldn't walk right in.
Well, as I say, I know we kind of talked to him sort of about this earlier, but before we part ways with this, our guiding crew, is there anything we should...
Tinker Tom? What was it? Tinker?
Tabby Tinker.
Tabby Tinker clan.
Yeah.
Is there anything we should avoid when entering town?
Oh yeah, unless you're ready to pay some toll, avoid the Ironworkers Union, but also don't run from them. They're the local law and help around here. Weird relationship with them. But, they protect Kansas. They done all right by all of us.
I heard a rumor that a quarter of them have lost an arm. Is that real?
Oh, Daisy lost everything.
We put her in the medical bay.
Yep, she's a freaking partial conversion Borg now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ironworkers Union. They run Wichita. They run all the security in Kansas. They're big deal. They scrap all stuff Wichita help sell, and they built this state, really. So, be polite. If they ask for something, negotiate, but I wouldn't fight them if I were you.
That means fight them.
I don't know who we are.
Yeah.
You guys know who we are? No.
Here we go. Oh. And one of the kids up first like, "Paul, what all them lights in the city for?" And looking up into the city, and you're seeing the beginnings of the ruins of Wichita. You've seen major cities before that are ruined. It's Wichita, so it's not huge, but it's still a big city. But looking out, and you're seeing past the Faraday Field, so you're getting back in a normal environment. But then you just see the flash, 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 and then a stream of little dots of lights in the sky.
Tracers, yeah.
And then flash, 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 and then bump, bump, bumps, and there's war happening. A streak of a rocket here and there, maybe a engine flare of a power armor flying by. But yeah, Wichita is deeper into Wichita from where your standpoint is. There's battles happening.
We could just skip it and go to touch.
Yeah, they're like, that there, son, that's war. Like, y'all, good luck. Anything else from us? I don't know.
Been a great help. Thanks.
I don't know who them Union boys are fighting, but that's a lot of ordnance. That means it's a lot of money. That means that that their toll is gonna be mighty high.
It's funny because every time I think about this, like war never. So with
this is totally Fallout going on.
Fallout, it's like war never changes.
Yeah.
But it came out. Fallout 3 came out at the same time as Metal Gear Solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's two opening lines, and like you see the zoom in on the bus in Fallout 3, and dun dun dun, and you hear the guy. He's like, war never changes. In Metal Gear Solid, you see the private military, the PMCs, get together and start changing out, and you're riding in the back of a truck, like heading into a war zone, but you're clearly not a member of this group. But somehow you've gotten in, and it's like war has changed. Those are the first two lines. War never changes. War has changed. You're like, wait a minute. This came out within like 6 weeks of each other.
So they wish you good luck. They throw you a Geiger counter just in case you're heading to a big city.
Yeah.
And turn around and off they go.
So this is an interesting conundrum because we know it's happening there now.
You know war is happening.
Exactly.
You don't know between who.
That's true. We're here to check. To assess the situation in Wichita, but ultimately make it to Dodge and meet up with our contacts there.
Yeah, I was jokingly to say like, hey,
We can
just checked
skinny
out Wichita. It's a battlefield.
fighting. Yeah, like we can just skinny fighting. We can just tell them like, yeah, there's shit happening, or we can get in there and see what is going on. It's up to you. You're the team leader. We can stop in Wichita and take a look closer and tell them what's going on, or we can just report back that the situation is.
Let's take a closer look.
All right. So you start heading up through the.
I just want to
southern
be able
ruins.
to tell. Well, we know the Ironworkers.
You want Elle
Union,
to have better information.
We know the Ironworkers Union is part of this, obviously. Like, they're in charge of Wichita, supposedly, according to the Tabby Tinker clan. I just want to know who they're fighting, and that's all we need to find out, and then we can get the fuck out.
Okay. So you make your way through the southern tip of Wichita. There's a highway that's smashed coming out of this area. There's no trace of that in the Faraday Fields. There's no trace of anything out in the Faraday Fields, but it just kind of rises up and from the landscape once you exit the Faraday Fields and start getting up in there. And you start getting into a little bit of what was probably at the time a new development or a new expansion of the city. With shopping centers and shopping strips and homes and all this stuff. There's one kind of convergence of streets and other conveyances where it seems some battle maybe months ago occurred. You see the stripped out husk of an APC. Even the armor plating is gone. You can just see the frame of the APC. The wheels are all gone. Everything else. There's a couple of old scorch marks on the earth that have been scuffed up and covered over by dust. There's a movie theater that half of it is torn and broken down, or caved in essentially. And you move. It doesn't seem like there's any action going on here. And there hasn't been anything going on for a while. But something at this movie theater happened in the past.
Wait,
What?
I was like, this APC had nothing.
Yeah. As you start moving up into the city itself, some of Sugar's like, should I start scanning radio frequencies?
Is it stealthy to scan? Will it draw attention? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say because
If they have a radio control center, they'll see another connection.
perfect.
They won't know what or who.
My big thing is that we're here to survey.
Yeah.
And I'm a giant silver robot.
Right.
So I don't want to.
You don't want anything like just blink.
So until we get into fights, we're good. So I would like to stay back as far as possible. But yes, let's scan. Let's listen. Let's be quiet. Take a knee or something. Whatever I got to do to not be.
And yours, you just scan.
I burned that poncho up immediately. Never
mind.
Yeah,
I bought a poncho once, but I lost it.
You
when
could
I
have
was
taken
30.
one with you.
It's
A new
too
one.
no, it's okay. I didn't say that. That's something I wouldn't do that normally anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about it.
It sounds like a good idea in retrospect, but like James is not
Didn't-
about
yeah.
not
And
about
he-
hiding the
and he
glitter.
didn't
Boy.
think
You're not
about
supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to hide it.
So, you're heading up and you're starting to scan channels, do this. You tap into what you assume is the Ironworkers Union channels. It sounds like good old boys talking. They're talking military speak. You can discern some of it, but they're using code for a lot of things. A lot of, move quadrant this, to that, 5-5, 2-9er, 6-2. Quadrant this, quadrant that.
Can I skinny this to him? Does he have any knowledge of that?
So are we all hearing this?
Oh
Or
yeah,
just-
like if you're going
I'm
to scan in
running.
the same channels, you can if you want, or Sugar can broadcast
Let's
what
say
you're
we
hearing.
just have Sugar broadcast so that we don't have more channels open up. It's just like one person listening instead of 12.
So then you hit a couple channels, and she's like, "There's some weird noises on it," and Sugar goes, "These channels are using digital encryption. This is not normal for this world that I have seen." She's new here. Should I try to unscramble?
Yeah. Also, turn off the low ammo count.
So Sugar is going to try to unscramble these digital signals. All right. So eventually, like starts staticking into words, and you start hearing coalition callouts and designations. It's in a newer code, obviously not of the of Chi-Town, but it's coalition protocol. And at that point, as you've moved up and have seen and are scanning, you see two Samuses fly over, and one of them gets picked out of the air by something, a cannon, and then all of a sudden a volley of rockets goes from probably an enforcer, which is one of their giant, like 20-foot tall robots. Volley of rockets goes to wherever that shot came from at the Samus.
Seen the Enforcer, right?
They're pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know it's like super close. Well, they had
Yep. Yep, there it
there it
is.
is. Yeah.
So
That's your power armor.
it's a little bit
You're
different.
probably
Yeah,
like that big,
mhm.
like that big.
So
This is the
you
Enforcer.
know the telltale signs of
Versus,
the
like,
rocket
my-
pods of the enforcers.
where my pointer is probably my glitter boy. Right about there.
And the Samus is in the other corner. That was the two things that were flying.
These
So
forces are no bueno.
with the communication with the digital encryption, there is a major expeditionary force of coalition in this area. This is a coalition military action. This isn't just a convoy passing through that they're protecting. This is an invasion.
This is gonna be way more fun than Blue Dwarf. We're gonna shoot a lot of coalition right now. It's gonna be good.
Right now?
The Samus peels off left or south to try to get away from the things, and it's coming right towards you.
Lock in.
This is about time where I'd be like, well, we discovered what information we know, so let's boogie on out of here.
So the Samus,
I don't feel the same way anymore. Shoot a bunch of coalition.
do you lock it? You said you locked it.
Yeah, I locked in.
So the Samus is coming around. It just looks like it, was trying to, bait, which obviously worked, but his partner got killed. But this coalition Samus pilot flies up and peels off south where there's no fighting. There's nothing down here. Just coming to a safe area, and he comes he goes up and low, and then as he comes down, he kind of you see him obviously pull back up,
Notice.
jarring, noticeably he saw something. And he was trying to get more altitude to see what it is. And you think he had line of sight on your glitter boy. So he might have seen you.
Alright. I'm not doing anything. I'm just thinking he saw us is fine. He can report back, but if I fire, it's 100%. There we are.
But you've locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
In case.
Right.
Just in case.
I never lock in on time,
Make
so I was
me,
like,
make me a notice check.
Which one of these D10s is ever going to work for me?
try one of mine. They don't work for me.
5.
Okay. Ace 8, nice flush. Mystery Queen, 9 Queen. So Queen of Hearts, Queen of Spades.
There's jacks right there.
There's
Not
jacks
really,
right
but
there.
pretty close.
Joker 8 for Shawnee. And the poor the poor Samus pilot gets the glitter boy with the jack.
Oh, and Shawnee got that Joker?
She did get the Joker.
Damn.
What?
Alright.
We've had 2 pulls of cards
So we've
this
had
whole
2
session.
And gotten 3 Jokers. So Shawnee calls out, I think we've been spotted. Are we engaging or are we running? That's her free action, and she's taking it first. We're going to go in order, which would be Ace. It's you.
We defer, so you decide.
So he's holding.
We can still walk away. We've been spotted. We don't have to stay in Wichita. We can always report back and head towards.
Yeah,
Dodge.
he can pull up and start running. You don't know if the Samus is going to engage a glitter boy.
He better not.
Yeah, let's make that our plan. Like I said, I just wanted to know who the Ironworkers Unit was fighting. That we know. We can go to Dodge and have our contact relayed.
The Ironworkers Union. That was the other people in the
Ironworkers Union.
communications.
Is fighting who?
Coalition.
Oh, it's coalition. Sorry, so we.
So it's,
Gotcha.
it's Coalition fighting
Sorry,
Ironworkers.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, you are right.
We got the
So
information there.
he is saying to
Retreat.
nope out
Yep, Gnope.
and to disengage.
Good disengage.
So on your ace, are you pulling up and moving out, or are you shooting?
Not pull out, move out.
All right.
Because as soon as I fire, we're done. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows.
Nope, that's enough. That's all I need. It's up there as bait. It has its orders, but it knows what it spotted. It spotted you on cameras, so it may have recon on you. It flies towards you for a little bit more, but then it breaks off. It obviously sees you. It might have seen you. It probably didn't see Shawnee. So, and you head west and out of Wichita.
Whatever.
That'd been funny to see a Samus just splat in the air.
I like when it was like it stops and looks at you, and I'm like, "Oh, it should not do that." It's totally dead.
As a part of me thought about like telling you, like, hey, you hold, let us destroy it, so it doesn't seem so obvious. But
So you leave the sounds of the battle behind you, and you head out of Wichita at the southern edge. You can skirt between the Faraday Fields in Wichita, but you eventually see a really strange orchard in front of you.
do we now?
You do.
We do now.
Hopefully nobody went in there and woke up some witches.
Right. Do you want to
Fucking Mark.
go towards the? Do you want to go towards the?
So you have no idea what I ran into in that. Like when he's like APC, I'm like, well, it looks like a theater. I'm like, we're not going in that theater.
I was saying at that reference, I was like, I don't think I know that one.
You don't, because it
It's when we
was.
split the party. We
Yep.
played 2 days.
Well, I
separate.
figured that,
Fuck.
but that's why I was like, that's not me.
I had to shoot a lot of things.
Are you going to avoid this orchard and go around it? It seems pretty small, easy to get around. It's just in a nook, like between the Faraday Fields and Wichita. You can go north and around.
You're the lead.
You may risk running into some ironworkers if you go around it, but the risk is pretty minimal.
Then yes. I don't want to use like outside knowledge, but like if we don't have to go into like people's area,
Yeah, and
Why would we?
scanning
Well,
channels,
like-
there is no communication coming from this orchard.
like
Plus, we're on our way to Dodge. We were supposed to kind of stop one shot and see. We did. We move on. If you don't want to stop along the way to anything else, we don't have to.
Yeah.
It's not previous player knowledge. It's that there's no reason to stop at a weird orchard. We don't have any need for that.
So Dodge is not that far away from Wichita. If you guys are pretty amped from the going through the Faraday Fields and seeing what was going on in Wichita, you can head right to Dodge. After that, it's run through the night, through the next day, towards the afternoon, you'll get there. As you head up to Dodge City, you notice that the sign, it's an old green sign from pre-Rifts, kind of messed up and has some bullet holes in it. But the E has been scratched off. The E and the D, essentially. So it says Dog City.
My kind of place.
And as you're heading up, it is
They misspelled God.
it is monitored and fortified. Like, it has walls around it. It's got our guns on the walls. It's got some flying things patrolling, some power armors, some flying vehicles. You see, as you connect up with the roads, general traffic coming in and out. You do see lots of military-style traffic, APCs and robots and power armors, and they all seem to have the same emblem, which you can readily decipher as the Ironworkers Union emblem. So, it's an IW, and I can't remember what the symbol was. It was a...
Oh, it was an eye. Was it an anvil?
It was like a hammer and an anvil or something to that effect.
It was it wasn't a hammer and a fist. It wasn't the communist logo.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah. So you see lots of that coming out of Dodge City towards the east. So obviously people coming, or military convoys for supplies or whatever, heading to Wichita. Otherwise, you were pretty much left unmolested going up in here. You got a glitter boy with you. No one bats an eye at that. Well, I mean, there's some eye batting, but no one's stopping you.
Yeah.
Well, so it doesn't look like the city's in control. Like, the Ironworkers are in control of the city. They happen to be...
Yeah, they're just moving in and out of it.
Okay. That's why you got me worried right now. It's like,
No,
what?
you see that that outside
Information
there's
is
several emblems. There's flags flying and a couple crests stamped into the walls. One of them is the Ironworkers Union. You see a couple others you're not familiar with that eventually you will learn about, but it doesn't seem like the city owns itself to one master or one faction. So it's a kind of a free city with several different power groups that run it, is how it feels.
That's okay. It's a good thing.
Yep, and we're done with this session tonight.
Yeah,
it is 10 o'clock. You guys are entering Dodge City, or Dog City, as it is commonly referred to.
Great.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's called Dog City because there is a high population of rogue dog boys here from Lone Star.
I thought you were going to say Sumerians.
Nope. Tons of Sumerians, just everywhere.
It's Sumerian
So
town.
next week
call it
they will
Sumerian.
be entering Dodge City to find out what is going on in Kansas.
Not next week, though.
You're not going to be back for that?
Probably not.
Okay.
All right,
So
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Tomorrow night, we will be playing Dungeons and Dragons with our normal group. They have finally decided to create their own adventuring party and call themselves what they are. If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, then Ganope. And
Gnosters.
interesting with that. So, Mitch, take us out.
See you guys in 2 weeks. Same channel, same time, 7 p.m. Arizona Mountain Standard Time.
see what happens to us as we enter Dog City in Kansas, right outside of Wichita. Till then.